बिहार आगे बढ़ रहा है तो इसके पीछे सबसे बड़ी ताकत बिहार की माताओं बहनों की है। और मैं आज देख रहा था लाखों बहनें हमें आशीर्वाद दे रही थी। ये दृश्य दिल को छूने वाला था। एनडीए द्वारा उठाए जा रहे एक एक कदम का महत्व बिहार की माताएं बहनें, यहां की महिलाएं अच्छी तरह समझती है। यहां इतनी बड़ी संख्या में माताएं बहनें आई हैं। आप याद करिए, जब आपको 10 रुपया भी अगर आपके पास है तो छिपा करके रखना पड़ता था। न बैंकों में खाता होता था, न कोई बैंकों में घुसने देता था। गरीब का स्वाभिमान क्या होता है, ये मोदी जानता है। मोदी ने बैंकों से कहा, गरीब के लिए दरवाजे कैसे नहीं खोलेंगे, और हमने इतना बड़ा अभियान चलाकर जनधन खाते खुलवाए। इसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ मेरे गरीब परिवार की महिलाओं को हुआ। बिहार में भी करीब 3.5 करोड़ महिलाओं के जनधन खाते खुले। इसके बाद हमने सरकारी योजनाओं का पैसा सीधा इन खातों में भेजना शुरू किया। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही मेरे मित्र नीतीश जी की सरकार ने, और अभी घोषणा भी कर रहे थे, वृद्ध, दिव्यांग और विधवा माताओं को मिलने वाली पेंशन को 400 रुपये से बढ़ाकर 1100 रुपये महीने प्रति के हिसाब से कर दिया। ये पैसा सीधे आपके बैंक खाते में ही तो जाएगा। पिछले 1.5 महीने में ही बिहार के 24,000 से ज्यादा स्वयं सहायता समूहों को 1,000 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा की मदद भेजी गई है। ये भी इसलिए हो पाया क्योंकि माताओं बहनों के पास आज जनधन खातों की ताकत है। साथियों, नारी सशक्तिकरण के इन प्रयासों के जबरदस्त परिणाम भी आ रहे हैं। देश में, बिहार में लखपति दीदी की संख्या लगातार बढ़ रही है। देश में हमने 3 करोड़ बहनों को लखपति दीदी बनाने का लक्ष्य रखा है। अब तक 1.5 करोड़ बहनें लखपति दीदी बन चुकी हैं। हमारे बिहार में भी 20 लाख से ज्यादा लखपति दीदी बनी है। आपके चंपारण में ही 80,000 से ज्यादा महिलाएं स्वयं सहायता समूह से जुड़कर लखपति दीदी हुई है। साथियों, आज यहां 400 करोड़ रुपए का सामुदायिक निवेश फंड भी जारी किया गया है। ये पैसा नारी शक्ति की शक्ति को बढ़ाने में काम आएगा। यहां नीतीश जी ने जो जीविका दीदी योजना चलाई है, उसने बिहार की लाखों महिलाओं को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का रास्ता बना दिया है। साथियों, भाजपा और एनडीए का विजन है, जब बिहार आगे बढ़ेगा तभी देश आगे बढ़ेगा। और बिहार तब आगे बढ़ेगा जब बिहार का युवा आगे बढ़ेगा। हमारा संकल्प है, हमारा संकल्प है समृद्ध बिहार, हर युवा को रोजगार। बिहार के नौजवानों को बिहार में ही रोजगार के ज्यादा से ज्यादा मौके मिले, इसके लिए बीते वर्षों में यहां तेजी से काम हुआ है। नीतीश जी की सरकार ने यहां लाखों युवाओं को पूरी पारदर्शिता के साथ सरकार में नियुक्ति भी दी है। नीतीश जी ने अभी बिहार के नौजवानों को रोजगार के लिए भी नए निश्चय भी लिए हैं। केंद्र सरकार कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर उनका साथ दे रही है। साथियों, कुछ दिन पहले केंद्र सरकार ने एक बड़ी योजना को मंजूरी दी। इस योजना के तहत प्राइवेट कंपनी में पहली बार नियुक्त पाने वाले, जिसको पहली बार मौका मिलेगा, उसको 15,000 रुपया केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से दिया जाएगा। कुछ दिनों बाद 1 अगस्त से ही ये योजना लागू होने जा रही है। इस पर केंद्र सरकार 1 लाख करोड़ रुपया खर्च करने वाली है। नए नौजवानों को नया रोजगार, इसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ बिहार के नौजवानों को भी होगा। साथियों, बिहार में स्वरोजगार को बढ़ावा देने के लिए मुद्रा योजना जैसे अभियानों को और गति दी गई है। पिछले 2 महीने में ही बिहार में मुद्रा योजना के तहत लाखों लोन दिए गए हैं। यहां चंपारण के भी 60,000 युवाओं को स्वरोजगार के लिए मुद्रा लोन मिला है। साथियों, आरजेडी के वो लोग आपको कभी रोजगार नहीं दे सकते। जो लोग रोजगार देने के नाम पर आपकी जमीनें अपने नाम लिखवा लेते हैं, आप याद रखिए, एक और लालटेन का दौर वाला बिहार था, एक और ये नई उम्मीदों की रोशनी वाला बिहार है। ये सफर बिहार ने एनडीए के साथ चलकर पूरा किया है। इसलिए बिहार का संकल्प अटल, बिहार का संकल्प अटल, एनडीए के साथ हर पल, एनडीए के साथ हर पल। साथियों, बीते वर्षों में जिस तरह बिहार में नक्सलवाद पर प्रहार हुआ है, उसका भी बहुत बड़ा लाभ बिहार के युवाओं को मिला है। चंपारण, औरंगाबाद, गया जी, जमुई जैसे जिलों को वर्षों तक पीछे रखने वाला माओवाद आज अंतिम सांसें गिन रहा है। जिन इलाकों पर माओवाद का काला साया था, आज वहां के नौजवान बड़े सपने देख रहे हैं। हमारा संकल्प है कि हम भारत को नक्सलवाद से पूरी तरह मुक्त करके रहेंगे। साथियों, ये नया भारत है। अब भारत मां भारती के दुश्मनों को सजा देने के लिए जमीन आसमान एक कर देता है। बिहार की इसी धरती से मैंने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर का संकल्प लिया था और आज उसकी सफलता पूरी दुनिया देख रही है। साथियों, बिहार के पास न सामर्थ्य की कमी है और न ही संसाधन की। आज बिहार के संसाधन बिहार की प्रगति का माध्यम बन रहे हैं। आप देखिए, एनडीए सरकार के प्रयासों के बाद से ही मखाना की कीमतें कितनी बढ़ी हैं, क्योंकि हमने यहां के मखाना किसानों को बड़े बाजार से जोड़ा। हम मखाना बोर्ड का गठन कर रहे हैं। यहां केला, लीची, मरचा चावल, कटारनी चावल, जर्दालू आम, मगही पान, अभी ऐसे कितने ही उत्पाद और हैं जो बिहार के किसानों को, बिहार के युवाओं को दुनिया भर के मार्केट से जोड़ेंगे। भाइयों बहनों, किसानों के उत्पाद और उनकी आय को बढ़ाना हमारी प्राथमिकता है। पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि योजना के तहत अब तक करीब 3.5 लाख करोड़ रुपया किसानों को दिए गए हैं। यहां अकेले मोतीहारी में ही 5 लाख से ज्यादा किसानों को 1,500 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा मिले हैं। साथियों, न हम नारों तक अटकते हैं, न हम वादों तक सिमटते हैं, हम तो काम करके दिखाते हैं। जब हम कहते हैं कि हम पिछड़ों, अति पिछड़ों के लिए निरंतर काम कर रहे हैं, तो ये हमारी नीतियों में भी, निर्णयों में भी नजर आता है। एनडीए सरकार का तो मिशन ही है हर पिछड़े को प्राथमिकता, हर पिछड़े को प्राथमिकता, चाहे पिछड़ा क्षेत्र हो या पिछड़ा वर्ग हो, हमारी सरकार की वो पहली प्राथमिकता है। दशकों तक हमारे देश में 110 से ज्यादा जिलों को पिछड़ा कहकर छोड़ दिया गया था। वो जाने, उनका नसीब जाने, ये हाल कर दिया था। हमने इन जिलों को प्राथमिकता दी। पिछड़े जिले के बजाय उन्हें आकांक्षी जिला बनाकर इनका विकास किया, यानी पिछड़े को प्राथमिकता। हमारे देश के सीमावर्ती गांवों को भी आखिरी गांव कहकर छोड़ दिया गया था। हमने इन आखिरी कहे जाने वाले गांवों को, वहां के विकास को प्राथमिकता दी और हमने नाम ही, व्याख्या ही बदल दी। वो आखिरी नहीं, वो देश का पहला गांव है, यानी पिछड़े को प्राथमिकता। दशकों तक हमारा ओबीसी समाज ओबीसी कमीशन को संवैधानिक दर्जा दिए जाने की मांग कर रहा था। ये काम भी हमारी ही सरकार ने किया। हमारे आदिवासी समाज में भी जो सबसे पिछड़े थे, सरकार ने उनके लिए जनमन योजना शुरू की। अब इनके विकास के लिए 25,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए जा रहे हैं। इसलिए मैं कहता हूं, जो पिछड़ा है वो हमारी प्राथमिकता है। अब इसी भावना से एक और बहुत बड़ी योजना शुरू की जा रही है। 2 दिन पहले ही केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल ने प्रधानमंत्री धन धान्य कृषि योजना को मंजूरी दी है। इस योजना के तहत कृषि के मामले में सबसे पिछड़े 100 जिलों को चिन्हित किया जाएगा। ये ऐसे जिले होंगे जहां खेती से जुड़ी संभावनाएं तो भरपूर है, लेकिन पैदावार और किसानों की आय के मामले में ये जिले अभी भी पीछे हैं। इन जिलों के किसानों को इस योजना के तहत प्राथमिकता देकर मदद दी जाएगी। यानी पिछड़े को प्राथमिकता। इसका सीधा लाभ देश के करीब 2.25 करोड़ किसानों को होगा और इसमें बहुत बड़ी संख्या मेरे बिहार के किसान भाई बहनों के रहने वाली है। साथियों, आज यहां रेल और सड़क से जुड़ी हजारों करोड़ रुपए की परियोजनाओं का उद्घाटन और शिलान्यास हुआ है। इन परियोजनाओं से बिहार के लोगों को बहुत सुविधा हो जाएगी। देश के अलग अलग रूट पर अमृत भारत एक्सप्रेस को हरी झंडी दिखाई गई है। मोतिहारी बापू धाम से दिल्ली आनंद विहार तक भी अब सीधे अमृत भारत एक्सप्रेस चलेगी। मोतिहारी रेलवे स्टेशन भी अब नए रूप में नई सुविधाओं के साथ तैयार हो रहा है। दरभंगा नरकटियागंज रेल लाइन का दोहरीकरण होने से यह रूट पर यात्रियों को बहुत सुविधा हो जाएगी। साथियों, चंपारण की धरती का जुड़ाव हमारी आस्था और संस्कृति से भी है। राम जानकी पथ मोतिहारी के 70 घाट, केसरिया, चकिया, मधुबन से होकर गुजरने वाला है। सीतामढ़ी से अयोध्या तक जो नई रेलवे लाइन तैयार हो रही है, उससे श्रद्धालु चंपारण से अयोध्या जाकर दर्शन कर सकेंगे। इन सारे प्रयासों का सबसे बड़ा लाभ है बिहार में कनेक्टिविटी और बेहतर होगी। यहां रोजगार के नए अवसर भी तैयार होंगे। साथियों, कांग्रेस और आरजेडी गरीबों, दलितों, पिछड़ों और आदिवासियों के नाम पर राजनीति करते आए हैं, लेकिन बराबरी का अधिकार तो दूर, ये परिवार से बाहर के लोगों को सम्मान तक नहीं देते। इन लोगों का अहंकार आज पूरा बिहार देख रहा है। हमें बिहार को इनकी बुरी नीयत से बचाकर रखना है। नीतीश जी की टीम ने, बीजेपी की टीम ने और पूरे एनडीए ने इतने वर्षों तक यहां मेहनत की है। श्री चंद्रमोहन राय जी जैसे विभूतियों ने हमें मार्गदर्शन दिया है। हमें मिलकर बिहार के विकास के इन प्रयासों को और गति देनी है। हमें मिलकर बिहार के सुनहरे भविष्य की ओर बढ़ना है। हमें संकल्प लेना है, बनाएंगे नया बिहार, फिर एक बार एनडीए सरकार। इसी के साथ मैं एक बार फिर आज की परियोजनाओं के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। मेरे साथ दोनों हाथ ऊपर करके पूरी ताकत से बोलिए, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Well, that was PM Modi's poll bugle in Bihar's Motihari. This is one of his key visits before Bihar sees polls. In fact, he has made it very, very clear. He has said that RJD needs to watch out. NDA will come back. In fact, he has also said that Operation Sindoor was a massive success and that he sounded Operation Sindoor from the soils of the very state he is in right now. And remember, viewers, this is him sounding poll bugle in Bihar. He also held a mega roadshow which saw thousands of people participating in it. Thousands, scores of people came to witness PM Modi's mega roadshow in Bihar, which he held with the Chief Minister of the state. He has sounded his poll bugle. In fact, he has also said that how Operation Sindoor was a massive success and that the world witnessed India's undisputed might, India's formidable might.
Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
A fire has broken out at a scrap iron storage warehouse in the industrial estate located in Tamil Nadu. The operations to douse the fire are currently underway. One person died and two were injured after a portion of an abandoned school had collapsed in Ranchi of Jharkhand. The school is located in Piskamor area. As per reports, one person has died and two have been injured in the incident. The injured have been admitted to Sadar Hospital. Some people took shelter in this abandoned building at night. As per the initial report, 3 people were inside the building when the incident took place. Officials have stated that more than 20 schools in the national capital have received bomb threats. The police have said that the Richmond Global School in Delhi's Paschim Vihar area has reportedly been getting a bomb threat. The fire department and Delhi police have rushed to the spot after receiving the information about the bomb threats. Further investigation is currently underway. Shifting our focus to another story that we are tracking, ladies and gentlemen, a video of NCP SP MLA Jitendra Eward has been posted by Nitish Rane where he was seen misbehaving with a journalist. Now, this comes a day after heated exchange between Eward and the BJP MLA Padalkar outside the legislature complex. The video was shared by Nitish Rane, which is on your screen. He can be seen, Jitendra Eward can be seen misbehaving with the journalist. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there was a heated exchange between Jitendra Eward and the BJP MLA Padalkar right outside the legislature complex. And now there's a video that has been shared by BJP's Nitish Rane where Eward can be clearly seen misbehaving with a journalist, even shoving and pushing him. You can see the visuals on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. This is a video of NCP SP MLA Jitendra Eward. All right, on your screens are the visuals of Eward and Padalkar crash. Remember, viewers, this was a brawl in Maharashtra Assembly where 2 were arrested after BJP and NCP supporters indulged in a fist fight. In fact, an FIR, ladies and gentlemen, has also been filed. An FIR has been registered and 2 people arrested in connection with the clash between the supporters of BJP MLA Gopi Chand Padalkar and NCP Sharad Pawar faction leader Jitendra Ehwar outside the Maharashtra Assembly on Thursday. On your screens are the visuals, ladies and gentlemen. A video showing supporters of the two MLAs clashing inside the Vidhan Bhavan went viral. In fact, the Mumbai police has also arrested two people in connection with the very same clash. In fact, a case has been registered in the Marine Drive police station, is what we're coming to know. The scuffle was captured near the main staircase and the lobby, and showing both the group exchanging blows before the onlookers intervened. Now remember, viewers, the incident came just a day after Padalkar and Ehwar were caught on camera in a heated argument outside the legislature premises. In fact, there was also an earlier video that showed two exchanging sharp words near the entrance, reportedly after Ehwar alleged that Padalkar slammed a car door at him. Quite dramatic visuals on the screens, viewers. As you can see, this is a clash between two MLAs clashing inside Vidhan Bhavan. Now, the video has, of course, gone viral. In fact, on the right side, you can see the video that has been shared by Nitish Rane, which shows Jitendra Ehwar blatantly assaulting a journalist. All right, let's cut straight across to BJP leader Ram Kadam, who joins me live on this edition on the phone line. Sir, thank you for speaking with Republic. What we can see is a video of NCP SP MLA Jitendra Ehwar, and the video has been posted by Nitish Rane, and he can be seen blatantly misbehaving with a journalist. What's your first reaction on this? All right, while we try and connect back with Ram Kadam there, ladies and gentlemen, this is the video that has been shared by Nitish Rane. And of course, an FIR has now been registered. In fact, two people who have also been arrested in connection with the very same clash between the supporters of BJP MLA Gopi Chand Padalkar and NCP Sharad Pawar faction Jitendra Ehwar. Okay, time to slip into a very, very short break, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side, after ED raids ex-Chhattisgarh CM Bhupesh Baghel, Bilai's house, his son now arrested. Also, on the other side, middle class run over by rich yet again in Gandhinagar. BMW car kills one rich brat, gets bail. We'll get you this and a lot more. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च। इस साल का जो प्रॉफिट है इंटरेस्ट पे डाल देंगे। हर महीने ब्याज का पैसा आता रहेगा।
अगर रेगुलर इनकम ही चाहिए तो आप वो पैसे फिक्स्ड इनकम फंड्स में डाल दो।
वो क्या होता है?
फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स चुने हुए ब्याज देने वाली कंपनी बॉन्ड्स, गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स और मनी मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं। सिस्टमैटिक विथड्रॉवल प्लान से आपको ऑन द डॉट फिक्स्ड अमाउंट भी आता रहेगा।
म्यूचुअल फंड में फिक्स्ड इनकम वाली बात सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
After ED raids ex-Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's Bilai house, his son has been arrested. Pakistan's bloody signature in Pahalgam now called out by the US. White House confirms what India said TRF equals Pak terror. Nitish Rane posts video of NCP SCP MLA Jitendra Ehwar misbehaving with journalist. Middle class run over by the rich yet again in Gandhinagar. BMW kills one. Rich brat gets bail. Complete collapse of law and order in Patna. Accused who shot inside Patna hospital was seen celebrating moments after the crime. The public crashes all landing channels, becomes India's #1 and most watched channel. Arnab is the primetime king once again. Super Primetime Max breaches 90% mark. We have some big breaking news coming in, viewers. The rich brat who mowed down an innocent middle-class man has now been granted bail. The charges on Vatsal Karya were bailable. He was set free this morning, though the police is still investigating the matter, and they have collected the blood samples of the accused, who is believed to have consumed alcohol. And even before the reports are out, you see the accused has been given bail. This is the video that's come to light from Gandhinagar, where you can see a speeding BMW being driven by a VVIP brat, and locals suspect and locals claim that the man who was driving the BMW was under the influence of alcohol, and he was also under the influence of arrogance. Viewers, there you can see, not even stopping the vehicle despite him seeing the arrival of a two-wheeler. The BMW speeds into the two-wheeler, rams him, and kills the middle-class man on the spot. In fact, these are the two incidents that have sparked massive outrage. First one was the Pune Posh case, in which a killer brat snuffed out the lives of two techies who were en route home. And this Gandhinagar incident that has come to light afresh is the latest in the series of how the rich are seen mowing down the middle class. Luxury wheels and murderous acts by the rich. We have Tanisha also joining us live from the newsroom. Tanisha, it's indeed very shocking and outrageous that the accused killer has been granted bail even before the blood sample reports are out.
Well, absolutely, Deepak. It is a shocking case of how the rich man gets away easily, has not been even tried, and he gets a bail hours after he has committed a crime. He has run over his car, over a poor man, over a middle-class man. He gets away easily. And remember, this is not the first time that this case has happened. A same thing that happened in the Pune Porsche case as well, where the accused in that case was a minor. First, he was told to write an essay and get away with it. The crushing of a middle-class man, and the only excuse, the only punishment that the minor had to face then in the Pune case was to write an essay and get away with it. Not just that, just few days ago, remember, we had got the news about how the accused will not be tried under minor act, and he will be treated as a minor and not as a major. Another case of where an affluent person just gets away easily, and it is the poor man, it is the middle class man who has to suffer. Same is the case from here in Gandhinagar. The incident is about yesterday early in the morning, when a BMW car, allegedly in the influence of alcohol, the driver was in the influence of alcohol, he rams his car into the old man who was heading to his home. And just hours after that has happened, Thursday morning, that is yesterday, the incident has happened, and today, by afternoon, we see nearly 12 to 13 hours after is when he gets a bail. But the question is, on what basis has he got a bail, and is the life of a middle class man so easily that it can be forgiven? The crimes can so easily be forgiven that an accused in the case, in a hit and kill case, it's not even a hit and run, Deepak, it is a hit and kill case where the accused has been granted bail within just 12 to 13 hours of case. And the family is upset, they are enraged. There are wide range concerns that are being flashed out now in the open. And remember, there are different states in which these cases have come to light. Earlier, it was in Madhya Pradesh, where a Congress MLA has rammed his car into a middle class man again. again in Pune case which happened last year, where a minor allegedly under the influence of alcohol has rammed his car into two techies, and he was released soon after. He was told that he will not be tried as an adult but as a minor. And now again another case, this one from Gandhinagar in Gujarat, where the BMW driver, again a rich brat, who rams his car into an old man who's probably going home to after his errands early in the morning, rams his car, and he gets bailed very easily. In fact, we are also being joined by the family of the victim. If I can just get their names, we are being joined by Bharat Mishra. He is the son of the deceased, and also Rajendra Tiwari, who is the brother-in-law of the deceased. He is also a lawyer. Bharat and Rajendra, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए. आपसे जानना चाहूँगी, कब आपको इस बारे में पता चला कि ये इंसिडेंट हो गया है, कब आपको खबर आई, और किस तरीके से आपने इस केस को फॉरवर्ड ले जा रहे हैं अभी?
मैम, मुझे अराउंड 7:20 के आसपास एक कॉल आया था मॉर्निंग में. उन्होंने पहले मुझे इन्फॉर्म किया कि मेरे फादर को एक्सीडेंट हुआ है सूर्या सर्कल के आसपास, अनिर्देश बंगलो के बाजू में. तो मैं जस्ट तैयार होके निकल ही रहा था उस टाइम पे, क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा पैनिक में आ गया था. फिर 1 मिनट बाद ही उन्होंने दोबारा कॉल करके बोला कि आप जल्दी आ जाइए क्योंकि उनकी डेथ हो गई है. तो एकदम से ट्रॉमा जैसा हो गया था, क्योंकि एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था. मैं एक्चुअली सुबह जल्दी उठा था ऑफिस का काम करने के लिए, तो जस्ट मैंने लैपटॉप स्टार्ट ही किया था, उतने में मेरे पास ऐसी न्यूज़ आई. तो मैं तो ट्रॉमा में था. तो हमारे वो साथ में जो 10th फ्लोर पे हमारी सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, वो मेरे साथ आए यहाँ पे. तो इधर सूर्य सर्कल से जो टर्न आता है, वहाँ पे मैंने देखा कि मेरे फादर की डेड बॉडी यहाँ पे पड़ी हुई थी. एंड BMW की हालत बहुत खराब थी, मतलब वो पेड़ से बुरी तरह क्रैश हुई हुई थी. एंड उसका मतलब आगे का बोनट वगैरह एंड सब कुछ उड़ गया था. एंड सारे एयर बैग्स भी उसके खुले हुए थे उस टाइम पे. तो बहुत ही मतलब बहुत ही खतरनाक स्थिति थी, मतलब उसको देखा भी नहीं जा सकता, ऐसी स्थिति थी वो. और मेरे फादर की लाश इधर साइड में पड़ी हुई थी, यहाँ पे जहाँ पे मैंने देखा था उधर. और एक्टिवा को अगर मैं आपको दिखाऊं तो ये एक्टिवा की स्थिति है अभी. अगर आप इसके देखें तो चाबी वगैरह सब लॉक हो गई है, ये सब डैमेज हो गया है यहाँ पे. ये देखिए यहाँ से सब टूट गया है इसका. एंड जिन्होंने आसपास में इंसिडेंट देखा है, उनका कहना ऐसा है कि वो करीब 2 फुट हवा ऊपर उछले थे, उसके बाद गिरे थे. एंड आप समझिए उनका बॉडी वेट करीब 120-125 kg था. तो जब वो गिरे होंगे उसके बाद भी वो 5-10 मिनट तक तड़पे हैं उसके बाद. मतलब एक किसी की गलती ने हमारा घर पूरा उजाड़ दिया है.
बिल्कुल समझ सकती हूँ आपका दुख भारत जी. हमें ये बताइए कि आपके जो पिताजी थे वो कितने वर्ष के थे, और वो कहाँ जा रहे थे जब आपको ये पता चला कि ये एक्सीडेंट हो गया? क्योंकि ये सामने आ रहा है कि ये जो खबर है वो सुबह, जैसे आप बता रहे थे, आपको सुबह सुबह की खबर मिली. कहाँ जा रहे थे वो, और वो उनकी उम्र कितनी थी?
उनकी उम्र मैम 69 थी. और इधर ये सूर्य सर्कल के पास में एक शिव जी का मंदिर है. तो अभी सावन का महीना चल रहा है, तो वो बेलपत्र चढ़ाने जा रहे थे वहाँ पर. और उसके बाद इधर से वो यू टर्न मार के आ रहे थे, तभी अचानक से वो BMW आई और उनको क्रश करते हुए चली गई.
जी भरत जी, जैसा आप दिखा रहे थे हमें आपकी वही पिताजी की स्कूटी, जो बहुत ही, जैसा हम देख सकते हैं अपने विजुअल्स में भी, बहुत ही गंदा इम्पैक्ट आया है उस स्कूटी पे. क्या आप फिर से हमारे दर्शकों को स्कूटी दिखा सकते हैं, क्योंकि ताकि हम ये दर्शकों को अपने दिखा पाए कि कैसे एक अमीर आदमी अपने अपने व्हील्स के अंडर किसी को भी कुचल के जा सकता है, और वो उसको आराम से बेल भी मिल जाती है कुछ घंटों बाद. इनफैक्ट क्या आप फिर से वो स्कूटी की तस्वीरें दिखा सकते हैं हमें?
ये देखिए मैम, इसका साइड पूरा डैमेज है, क्योंकि ये भी हवा में उछल के गिरी थी. यहाँ से आप देखिए तो इसका पूरा प्लास्टिक वगैरह सब खुल गया है. यहाँ से पेड़ दिखाओ. और आपको मैं पेड़ की स्थिति दिखाता हूँ. जिस तरह से पेड़ डैमेज हुआ है BMW से क्रश होके, आप उससे अंदाजा लगा पाएंगे कि वो मतलब कितनी सीवियर स्पीड पे क्रैश हुआ होगा उस BMW के साथ.
जी बिल्कुल भरत जी.
ये पेड़ है,
जी
आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे लकड़ी का छाल है, इसके नीचे का पूरा हिस्सा पेड़ तक का डैमेज हो गया है. ऐसे दिखाओ, ये दिख रहा है.
जी बिल्कुल. बिल्कुल हमें दिख सकता है भरत जी कि किस तरीके से वो इम्पैक्ट हुआ, स्कूटी को जिस तरीके से उन्होंने हिट किया और किस तरीके से उनकी स्कूटी हम जान सकते हैं कि 20 मीटर तक उड़ के चली गई थी। हमारे साथ राजेंद्र जी भी जुड़ रहे हैं, वो ही इज़ द ब्रदर इन लॉ ऑफ द डिसीज। राजेंद्र जी, आप बताइए हमें कि कब आपको इस बारे में पता चला और किस तरीके से आप इस मामले को आगे ले जा रहे हैं?
जी, इमीडिएट जैसे ही उनके सन मिस्टर भरत को कॉल आया, उन्होंने और नेक्स्ट मोमेंट मुझे फोन किया और आई एम रिसाइडिंग अबाउट 20 मिनट अवे फ्रॉम हियर टुवर्ड्स अहमदाबाद। मैं और मेरी पत्नी तुरंत वहां से निकले और स्पॉट पे आए। स्पॉट पर से डेड बॉडी को तब तक ले जा चुके थे सिविल हॉस्पिटल पोस्टमार्टम नोट के लिए। तो हम लोग फिर सिविल हॉस्पिटल गए और दिन भर अंतिम क्रिया में लगे रहे। परंतु आई वुड लाइक टू से कि एक इररिस्पॉन्सिबल मल्टी मिलियनर लोगों के कार और एक्शन की वजह से वाज अ ड्रंक। मुझे ऐसा इंफॉर्मेशन आगे पीछे से मिला है कि वो नई गाड़ी थी, BMW नई परचेज करी थी, पासिंग भी नहीं हुआ था, उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी नहीं हुआ था और सारी रात कोई रिसोर्ट में पार्टी करके और वो लोग आ रहा था। यहाँ के लोगों का, स्थानिक लोगों का कहना है कि वो ड्राइवर जो था, लड़का जो चला रहा था गाड़ी का ओनर, उसको खड़े रहने के होश नहीं था, इतना दारू पिया हुआ था। इस परिस्थिति में उसको फिर यहाँ से ले जाया गया, हॉस्पिटलाइज भी किया गया और वो ये टॉवर्ड्स आप पीछे देख सकती हैं, ये रास्ता इतना चौड़ा और बड़ा रास्ता है कि जहाँ पे अकस्मात की कोई संभावना नहीं है। पूरा कोई ब्लाइंड एंड या ब्लाइंड कॉर्नर नहीं है। एक बड़ा चौड़ा मोर देन 100 फीट का रोड है, वहां से वन साइड से वो आया और जो कॉर्नर पे ये जो डिसीज्ड हैं, हमारे साले साहब थे, हमारे ब्रदर इन लॉ थे, वो ये जैसे बताया कि नजदीक के शिव मंदिर में बेलपत्र चढ़ाने सुबह जा रहे थे। तो वो जा रहे थे, वो वेरी स्लो थे। वो रिटायर्ड क्लास 1 ऑफिसर फ्रॉम राजस्थान गवर्नमेंट थे। माहिती प्रेस इंफॉर्मेशन ब्यूरो में सर्विस करके निवृत्त होके बेटे के साथ यहाँ रह रहे थे। वो इतने नियमित व्यक्ति थे। आजू बाजू वालों का, ये फ्रूट्स वालों का कहना है कि दायां या बायां हाथ बताए बगैर वो कभी टर्न नहीं होते थे, रोज ये लोग देखते थे
जी।
परंतु ये इररिस्पॉन्सिबल ड्राइविंग का और खास करके जो लग्जरी कार्स हैं उनके ओनर्स और ड्राइवर्स का ही रोल है। इररिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ ड्राइविंग है कि जिसकी वजह से आखिरी 2 साल में ये ट्विन सिटी अहमदाबाद गांधीनगर है, रास्ते अच्छे हो जाने की वजह से आखिरी 2 साल में कम से कम ऐसे 10 इंसिडेंट बने हैं जिसमें एक से लगा के 10-10 लोगों की मृत्यु हुई है। परंतु आई वुड से कि इट इज एन इररिस्पॉन्सिबल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ द पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट, ट्रैफिक डिपार्टमेंट ऑल्सो, कि इसमें कोई गंभीर दृष्टि से काम नहीं किया जा रहा। आगे पीएम फॉरेंसिक एंगल से भी पीएम हुआ है और अभी यहाँ पे पंचनामा वगैरह भी सभी अच्छे से किया गया है। लुकिंग टू ऑल, उसको बेल आउट नहीं किया गया है अभी। ही इज नॉट बेल आउट, हॉस्पिटलाइज है। उसको जो अकस्मात में चोट आई उसकी वजह से वो हॉस्पिटलाइज है ड्राइवर। और आगे पुलिस अपनी कार्रवाई कर रही है और आई एक्सपेक्ट कि कोर्ट भी गंभीरता से सीरियसली इसको केस को लेके और अपना न्याय निर्णय करेगी, उसको सजा देगी, पनिशमेंट देगी। यही हमारी अपेक्षा भी है और ये समय की जरूरत भी है।
Rajendra ji, there are two contrasting pictures here. On one hand, you have a middle-class man. Early in the morning, he's woken up early, he's gone to the temple, and little did he know that on his way back home, such a dastardly incident would take place. On the other hand, you have a rich VVIP brat who was under the influence of alcohol, probably heading back home from a party. And it looks like that because locals have suggested, like you clearly mentioned, that he was completely drunk out of his mind. How do you take this case forward and what are your demands?
मेरी न्याय तंत्र से और पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट से सिर्फ एक ही है कि हमने तो अपना आदमी खो दिया, हमने तो अपने फैमिली के एक एल्डर पर्सन को खो दिया है। परंतु आने वाले समय में मैं एक बात और कहूंगा, इसी स्पॉट पे रोज स्कूल जाने वाले बच्चे भी सुबह कम से कम 25 से 50 बच्चे समय समय पे यहाँ खड़े रहते हैं बस पिकअप करने के लिए। ईश्वर की कृपा रही और हम ये समझते हैं कि हमने तो एल्डर पर्सन खो दिया, परंतु उनने अपनी शहादत देके, अपना भोग देके और उन बच्चों को बचा लिया। अगर ये एक्सीडेंट ना हुआ होता तो बच्चों को क्या नुकसान होता ईश्वर ही जान सकता है। हमारी डिमांड तो खैर ठीक है, परंतु न्याय की अपेक्षा ये है कि ऐसे ड्राइवर्स को ही सिर्फ नहीं, परंतु ऐसी कार के ओनर्स को, उनके माता पिता को भी और एल्डर पर्सन ऑफ द फैमिली को भी पनिशमेंट होनी चाहिए फ्रॉम द सोसाइटी, फ्रॉम द डिपार्टमेंट, कि दे आर ऑल्सो रिस्पॉन्सिबल के रात को बच्चे लग्जरी कार लेके कहाँ जाते हैं, क्या करते हैं। ये ड्राई स्ट्रेट में अगर दारू पी के आखिरी 2 साल में 10 अकस्मात हो चुके दारू पीने वाले बच्चों की वजह से, तो व्हाट द पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट इज डूइंग इन द नाइट वे।
Right, Rajendra Tiwari ji.
And the administration also.
Rajendra Tiwari ji and Bharat Mishra, thank you for joining us, and we express our serious condolences to you and your family members. It's a void that can never be filled, but it's the rich and reckless that escape scot-free, and this is a classic example of that. And the family's only demand is to take stringent action against not just the driver, but also the family members. Let's now move on, viewers, because the Enforcement Directorate has arrested the son of former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's son, Chaitanya Baghel, in the liquor scam linked money laundering case. The Enforcement Directorate conducted searches at the residence of his son, and this particular residence is also shared by the former Chief Minister. In March, the probe agency had conducted similar raids at his residence, at this particular residence, and the raids that were conducted early this morning were also based on fresh evidence, as claimed by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, Chaitanya Baghel has been arrested by the ED on charges of allegedly receiving proceeds of crime from the illicit liquor trade to the tune of 2,000 crore rupees. We also have a reaction coming in from Bhupesh Baghel. Let's listen in.
सब लोग बोल चुके हैं, नेता प्रतिपक्ष बोलने के बाद और कुछ बचा नहीं है। सदन में भी कहा कि अडानी के जो पेड़ कटाई चल रहा है, इसके विरोध में पूरे कांग्रेस पार्टी लड़ाई लड़ रही है और दबाव पूरे सरकार में है, प्रशासनिक तंत्र में है और विपक्ष को दबाने के लिए ये रणनीति अपनाई गई है, जिसके कारण से आज नेता प्रतिपक्ष ने विधानसभा में ये घोषणा की कि हम इस कार्रवाई के विरोध में दिन भर के सदन की कार्रवाई बहिष्कार करते हैं। 81 लखमा भी टारगेट किया, देवेंद्र यादव को टारगेट किया, अभी मेरे बेटे को टारगेट कर रहे हैं। इसका मतलब ये है दबाने की कोशिश कि कोई आवाज़ अडानी के खिलाफ ना बोल सके।
Moving on to more breaking news coming in. It's a big setback for the Indie bloc because Aam Aadmi Party has officially and formally quit. The opposition grouping Sanjay Singh says AAP is no longer part of the Indie bloc. The Indie alliance was limited to just Lok Sabha elections, and in the aftermath of the poll drubbing, we have the Aam Aadmi Party now officially quitting the Indie bloc. It's a major setback for the opposition grouping, with Aam Aadmi Party, one of the key constituents of the Indie bloc, now exiting this particular fold. It was the anti-Modi bloc that they had formed, but after the Lok Sabha elections now, Aam Aadmi Party has formally quit from the Indie alliance. It was a decision that was on expected lines, but it has come late. It has come almost a year after the Lok Sabha elections. The Aam Aadmi Party has now formally announced that it is no longer part of the Indie alliance, saying that the alliance was only for Lok Sabha polls. It's a big setback for the alliance, for the grouping, as now a key partner of this particular grouping has officially quit the Indie fold. Our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor is also joining us live from the newsroom. Abhishek, this is a big setback for the Indie bloc. Aam Aadmi Party has quit it officially. What prompted the exit?
Well, you see, this is essentially a reiteration of an earlier position of the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, the alliance had seen fracture right there in the Haryana elections itself last year, and then we saw how in the Delhi elections early this year, again, the two parties, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, couldn't come together. And then subsequently we have seen in many states the Aam Aadmi Party really taking its own path. So what Sanjay Singh today has said is essentially something which has existed as a fact on the ground insofar as electoral tie-up between the two parties go. It essentially was limited to Lok Sabha elections. Even there, the fracture was visible between the two leaderships or leaderships of the respective leaderships of the two parties. But now it seems the going ahead is going to be difficult. Remember, there is no major election as such coming in where Aam Aadmi Party is relevant. But the fact that Sanjay Singh has made this statement just a week before the beginning of the monsoon session of Parliament, it does not look good going ahead for the Indie bloc. Also remember, we have seen similar statements coming in, for example, in Maharashtra from Shiv Sena of Uddhav Thackeray, the Shiv Sena UBT, where they have said that insofar as the local body polls are concerned, and the most significant one being of the BMC, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, there is no tie-up or the MVA does not exist effectively, making Uddhav available for example, a tie-up with the MNS of his cousin Raj Thackeray. And, you know, even a wink there coming in from Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis there a couple of days back in the Maharashtra Assembly. So I think the portents do not look good for the Indie bloc. Even otherwise, it was always at best a fractured alliance and coming together of varied interests where in the respective states. So for example, in Bengal, Mamata Banerjee would want no truck with the Congress or the CPM, even as there would be some kind of loose understanding for their alliance at the national level, which obviously, so far as the Congress is concerned, does not mean anything if it does not get any share in the pie in Bengal, and similarly in other states. So in Kerala, for example, the Congress and the CPM would continue to contest tooth and nail against each other, but then some kind of alliance existing at the national level, it just gets reduced to some kind of floor coordination in the parliament. That's why this development by itself might not be big in terms of electoral politics of the opposition Indie bloc, but coming as it does ahead of monsoon session of Parliament, obviously it's an embarrassment for Indie. Just a day also, remember Deepak, before the coordination committee of the opposition alliance meets in Delhi to plan how they will conduct themselves during the monsoon session.
That's right. Abhishek, I kindly request you to stay on with us as we play out Sanjay Singh's response, his announcement of AAP's exit from the Indie bloc.
देखिए, इसमें निमंत्रण आने ना आने का कोई प्रश्न ही नहीं उठता। सवाल ये है कि भाई इंडिया गठबंधन लोकसभा चुनाव के लिए था, उसके बाद हमने हरियाणा का चुनाव अकेले लड़ा, हमने दिल्ली का चुनाव अकेले लड़ा, हम बिहार में चुनाव अकेले लड़ने जा रहे हैं, हमने पंजाब और गुजरात का उपचुनाव अकेले लड़ा। तो आम आदमी पार्टी ने अपनी स्थिति स्पष्ट कर दी है, और जहां तक विपक्ष की भूमिका की बात है, एक सशक्त विपक्ष की भूमिका आम आदमी पार्टी हमेशा निभाती रही है, और पार्लियामेंट का जो सेशन अगला चलेगा वहां भी हम उठाएंगे तमाम मुद्दे।
In fact, we have BJP MP Praveen Khandelwal also joining us on the phone line. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Do you think this is the beginning of the end of the Indie bloc? Do you think more regional parties could reassess their position in the grouping and exit after Aam Aadmi Party?
Well, from the very beginning, we have been regularly saying that whatever this Indie bloc is, it is a bloc of great opportunism. Whenever these different parties find convenient, they join hands together, and when it is not convenient for them, they face against each other. This is our constant stand since a long time. So therefore, this is an unholy alliance, and whatever Sanjay Singh is saying right now, that it was up to Lok Sabha elections. Let me remind the statements of Arvind Kejriwal and other people in the beginning when this Indie bloc was formed, and it was made very categorically clear that the bloc has been formed to oppose Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP both in Parliament and outside Parliament. Today, because it is not suitable for Sanjay Singh and Aam Aadmi Party, that is why they are declaring that now they are not part of Indie bloc. So it is totally...
That's right, sir. Please kindly stay on with us because we also have Shazia Ilmi joining us live on this broadcast. A very good afternoon to you, Shazia Ilmi. Do you think that the ideological differences between the constituents of the Indie Alliance led to the exit of Aam Aadmi Party? Because we had seen the Aam Aadmi Party not agreeing with the Congress on various issues and vice versa across the country in different elections. Do you think this will now force the BJP to change its election strategy?
Not at all. I mean, it just goes on to show once again what Aam Aadmi Party is about, what India Bloc stands for. India Bloc is actually a blot of, opportunism, greed and political expediency. And this has been proven once again. This is hardly a surprise because now we're looking at elections in Punjab. And obviously, the main contenders there in Arvind Kejriwal's mind is Aam Aadmi Party and Congress. So I can say, ye to hona hi tha, aur ho gaya. And somebody like me has been predicting this all along. So the whole India Alliance was a bit of a joke to start with. And it has been proven yet again just how opportunistic Kejriwal is and just how gullible the rest of this India Alliance partners are. I don't know whose purpose has served, but people of India, citizens of Punjab and Delhi have really been taken for a big ride. Because if you remember, Arvind Kejriwal was the person who was part of the Anna Hazare movement, and Anna Hazare Andolan, as we all know, was against the corruption of UPA 2. So first things first, let's go back to basics. Entire Anna movement against UPA 2 corruption, Manmohan Singh and Sheila Dikshit in center. It gave birth to this Andolan, this big movement, and out of that movement came along Aam Aadmi Party.
That's right. And it was the opportunity, the political opportunism that you were mentioning, Shazia Almi, that led to the creation of Aam Aadmi Party with Kejriwal entering politics. But thank you for joining us with your insights. The BJP surely believes that this is the beginning of the end for the Indie bloc. It's time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side, we'll tell you about US's major action on Pakistan by designating TRF as a foreign terror organization. Along with that, we'll also tell you about the celebrations after a shootout in Bihar's Patna as law and order collapses completely ahead of the polls. Stay tuned.
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
India's largest news headquarters. Setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
After ED raids ex-Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's Bhilai house, his son now arrested in liquor scam. Pakistan's bloody signature in Pahalgam now called out by US. White House confirms what India said, TRF equals Pak terror. Aam Aadmi Party formally quits Indie bloc. Sanjay Singh says alliance was only for Lok Sabha polls. Nitish Rane posts video of NCP-SCP MLA Jitendra Awad misbehaving with a journalist day after scuffle in the assembly. Middle-class man returning from temple run over by rich yet again in Gandhinagar. BMW car driver kills one. Rich brat gets bail. Republic crashes. All landing channels becomes India's #1 and most watched channel. Arnab is the primetime king once again, and Super Primetime Max breaches 90% mark. A very good afternoon, viewers. It's 2 p.m. and you're watching Republic TV. I'm Deepak Suresh Kumar. Exactly almost 2 months after the dastardly Pahalgam terror attack, the US has designated Lashkar-e-Taiba's proxy TRF as foreign terror organization. And today, it was a big move announced by the Department of State by adding the TRF in the designated terror organization list, and it has named it Specially Designated Global Terror Group. Today, the US Department of State is adding TRF to this designated global terrorist list. It is a Lashkar-e-Taiba front and a proxy claimed responsibility for the April 22nd Pahalgam attack, which killed 26 civilians. This was the deadliest attack on civilians in India since 2008 Mumbai attacks conducted and orchestrated by LET. TRF has also claimed responsibility for several attacks against Indian security forces, targeted killings in Kashmir Valley, and the most recent one, the attack against security forces, was in 2024. We have Major General Rajan Kochar, a defense expert, joining us live on this broadcast. Major General, it's a big win for India's diplomatic efforts in taking the message of terrorism to the world. And finally, the world is now acknowledging, with US now designating TRF.
Very heartening news we just heard. And, it's a great development in our crusade against terrorism, because India has been fighting this battle and trying to make the world powers realize the importance of declaring Pakistan a terrorist state. So what are the implications of this order? We need to understand this first. Under Section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act of the United States, the Resistance Front has been declared as a foreign terrorist organization. Executive Order 13224 has been signed, which calls it as a specially designated global terrorist. And one important aspect of this is that it links the Resistance Front to Lashkar-e-Taiba Lashkar-e-Taiba is a known proxy terrorist organization of Pakistan. So now a link has been fully, you can say, established, recognized that Pakistan is sponsoring terrorist activities in India. So the implications are all the assets of this organization, if anywhere in the United States, are going to be freezed. Criminal penalties are going to be imposed on any nation or organization who is dealing in logistics or any financial or material support to this organization. And it should actually create an opportunity for India now to project to the world organizations like the United Nations to bring Pakistan back into the FATF grey list, and also the financial funding of Pakistan should be immediately stopped. The IMF and the World Bank have to take cognizance of this, and I think India should also go to the United Nations Security Council sanctions regime, and it is important to sanction this organization in the United Nations as well. So I think it's a very, very welcome step, and subsequent related activities need to be carried out by our government.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. And we continue, viewers, with the other story that we're tracking for you. Viewers, in fact, there are multiple reactions that have come in right now. Even, remember, Pakistan has been time and again talking about support for the TRF. Ishaq Dar, in fact, he's the Deputy Prime Minister of Pakistan. He had acknowledged support for the TRF, a group that is a proxy for Lashkar-e-Taiba, viewers. We'll get you more reactions. We continue to keep showing you what does it really mean. And take a listen to what Ishaq Dar had said.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में एक फोरम बना जिसका नाम है द रेजिस्टेंस फोरम, और उस पे उसको कंडेम किया गया, उसको जिम्मेदार ठहराया गया उस प्रेस रिलीज में। तो मुझे आई, मैंने देखा, मैंने कहा ये एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं। पहलगाम के साथ आपको लिखना पड़ेगा जम्मू एंड कश्मीर। मुझे बड़े बड़े कैपिटल से कॉलें आई कि देखें इस वक्त मैं कहा जी नथिंग डूइंग, ये नहीं हो सकता, पाकिस्तान विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट। वो कहते हैं आप पे ब्लेम आएगा, प्रेस रिलीज नहीं हुई, इतना बड़ा वाकया हुआ, आपके जाबर एक्सप्रेस भी ये आई थी, कंडेमनेशन की, टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी को कंडेम किया गया था। मैंने कहा वी आर रेडी, बट प्लीज यू हैव टू पुट इन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर एंड हैव टू डिलीट दिस TRF.
Ms. Sikri, US has announced that it will be designating, it has designated TRF, the group which was behind the Delhi Pahalgam terror attack, as FTO. How do you see this?
I think this is a great victory for Indian diplomacy, for India's very quiet and calm, yet very determined diplomacy, especially in the field of counterterrorism. And right from the first day, April 22nd, when the attack took place on innocent tourists in Pahalgam, it was known that TRF, the Resistance Front, which is a proxy or an alternative for the Lashkar-e-Taiba, they had taken claim for this. So that was known from the very first day. And certainly we would have given all the facts and figures, all the evidence that we had gathered to the USA, to the UK, to all the other countries who are interested in it. And we've seen the result of it today when the American government has designated the TRF as a foreign terrorist organization and also as a especially designated global terrorist. So I think that two things have happened. First of all, the TRF has come on the map. It is not, it cannot be dismissed anymore as an unknown or some new organization, number one. Number two, the Americans have also said that they have revisited their, review of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is the parent organization of the TRF, and they have redetermined that the Lashkar-e-Taiba continues to be a foreign terrorist organization, and there's no question of taking them off the list or anything like that.
Has clearly been implicated over here, but remember there has been a very different sort of approach from United States. It's the same United States that invites Asim Munir and hosts them for dinner at the White House, and then after some days we see that the same United States calls out TRF. Remember, Pakistan has not been named there, but yes, the fact that the Pahalgam, that the group behind Pahalgam terror attack has been named is a big win for Indian diplomacy. India's efforts, the diplomatic mission India, of course, had set out on post-Pahalgam, post-Operation Sindoor. And TRF, viewers, is a front of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Now, Lashkar-e-Taiba, of course, has been notorious, and India has been making continuous efforts in the United Nations to get the TRF banned. And we have now this move from America that, of course, builds pressure on Pakistan, at least for now. And in fact, viewers, we have reactions of the families of the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack. Republic TV spoke to the family of Saurav Dwivedi. Listen in.
Dwivedi, he is the kin of Shubham Dwivedi, one of the victims who was killed in the Pahalgam terror attack. Thank you very much, Saurav, for speaking to us. This comes as a major, major victory. What India had always said, that Pakistan is a terror state, that it is Pakistan that has sponsored terrorism, and that was a result of Operation Sindoor also. Operation Sindoor is still continuing, Saurav, and it comes as a major victory, especially as a justice for those who were killed in the Pahalgam terror attack. Your first reaction as a member of the family who lost their loved ones?
So I got this news through Republic only today morning, and believe me, it feels like a personal victory. Although this is a nationwide victory for us, where the delegations which were sent by the Prime Minister to different countries, I'm glad that the world is listening. The world is acknowledging what happened there in Pahalgam on 22nd April. So what we have lost is never going to come back, but the world recognizing Pakistan's act, the world recognizing that Pakistan is a terror, sponsored state, and Pakistan is always involved in any terrorist activities that happens in our country. So this is a major victory. I would like to thank the government, the all-party delegation that went to different countries to tell them about the Pahalgam terror attack. And yes, it is a victory. I would also like to thank all the armed forces, all the armed personals who are still carrying out Operation Sindoor for us.
Absolutely, Shubham. In fact, Ambassador Sajjanar is also joining us on the broadcast along with Gursimran. But Shubham, I would like to stay with you today. And Ambassador Sajjanar, it is in fact a huge victory as far as the diplomatic ties between India and the United States is concerned. And Saurabh, on that note, I would come to you again. What is it that you're demanding from the government again? Because no matter what you say, no matter what you do, the loss is irreparable. You can never get your brother back. And it is, in fact, a huge shock that the nation had to go through on April 22nd. Saurabh, what is it that the family is demanding from the government?
So, from the next day after the attack on 23rd, since that day we are demanding the government to attack terrorism on all fronts, be it economically, diplomatically, on the borderlines, through the armed forces, and also ideologically. So when we are fighting the wars on all front, I believe that is the only way we can eradicate terrorism. The only demand that family is making is to give recognition to all the 26 people who were martyred there, on 22nd April in Pahalgam. So we just want some recognition as a sign of respect, which the culture was not there in this country. I don't remember that the people who died, in these terrorist attacks were ever given some recognition. But this needs to change now. This is a new India, like we say. And I believe if we are gonna, give some recognition to the martyrs, then that will be an ideological fight against terrorism. Now we are fighting the war on all fronts. today is a big win for us diplomatically, and I only want that the government recognizes the people who have lost their lives. They were Indian citizens. They died on their motherland, and the government needs to, give them some recognition. And when we talk about in Hindi, we say, they should be called Shaheed. But some people have, created a propaganda out of it, and they say that we are trying to take the titles of the armed forces. No, we don't want that. We only want some recognition to be given to the families, which they can, make sure that they live with it the rest of their lives, in a respectful manner. My bhabi, she was married only for 2 months. So now, whatever government will, give recognition, that's the only thing that will stay with her. So that's all we want. We want the war to be, fought on all fronts, diplomatically, economically, on the border, and also ideologically. We want to defeat their ideology, and that's how we're gonna do it.
And some more news now. Republic TV has accessed the CCTV video of the bike-borne assailants, the gangsters with pistols in Patna Paras Hospital. Now, in this video, one can see a schoolgirl in uniform. We'll just play that out for you. You can see that schoolgirl was just walking on the road, and she was probably going to school, presumably. And if you see, after 20 seconds almost, she sees these bike-borne gangsters brandishing their pistols in broad daylight, in middle of a road, and she just returns back for a safe hideout. Anybody would be terrified of such a scene in a city like Patna, viewers. The moment she sees the second bike carrying the gangster crossing her way, she sneaks in to see if other bike carrying a gangster is coming or not. She escaped. This tells the story about the law and order situation, of course, in the state of capital. This, of course, happened, viewers, after we are the same men who, in fact, had shot dead the gangster. Okay, we have some more breaking news coming in right now. We have visuals of Congress protest outside the Enforcement Directorate's office. Now, this is coming in, viewers, from outside the Enforcement Directorate office. After Bhupesh Baghel's son was arrested. And the protest happening outside ED office. So the Congress, we've seen Congress doing this many a times. We've seen Congress doing dharna when Rahul Gandhi is questioned. And now when former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh and Congress leader Bhupesh Baghel's son is under lens and is arrested as per law, we see that the Congress workers take to the streets, and you can see the arson that's going on. In fact, the protest that is going on. They're breaking down the barricades outside the ED office. And these are the latest visuals coming in. Okay, this is a protest, Congress protest against Bhupesh Baghel's son arrest. And this is pertaining to the Liqour scam. And he has been arrested in this scam. Chaitanya Baghel has been arrested this morning, and he was taken into custody from his residence in Bhilai after an early morning raid was conducted by the ED officials. And Chaitanya Baghel is a businessman and son of former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. And this is in connection with the money laundering probe linked to the state's liquor policy. There you have his visuals coming in, how he was taken into custody. And this is something that the Congress workers are protesting. And this is a significant development, viewers, in the investigation into the alleged irregularities during the Congress's rule in Chhattisgarh under Bhupesh Baghel, as when he was the chief minister. And according to the people, ED claimed that a portion of funds was laundered through real estate firms operated by Chaitanya Baghel and his close associates. This is the update. And ED's money laundering case is based on a first information report registered by the ACB of Chhattisgarh, naming 70 individuals and entities. That includes former Excise Minister Khawasi Lakhma for their alleged role in corruption related to state's liquor policy. So just as he's arrested, we see the Congress workers taking to the streets, and as you can see the tire being burned outside the Enforcement Directorate office. And that's the breaking news we are getting in right now. ED conducted raids this morning on Bhupesh Baghel's son's house, property, premises. And Congress workers are now staging protests or outside the office of the Enforcement Directorate. And Bhupesh Baghel, in fact, has also strongly criticized the central government now for this and says that it's an attempt to silence the opposition. So this is the update we are getting in from from outside the ED office. Viewers, ED has arrested Bhupesh Baghel's son, Chaitanya Baghel, and after an early morning raid. And of course, there are agencies that are being now accused by. We see that Bhupesh Baghel is criticizing central government for using this, for allegedly misusing the agencies. And this is the update we are getting you. These are the visuals. Congress workers staging protest against the arrest of Bhupesh Baghel's son. Breaking news coming in right now. Mumbai Swami Vivekananda International School in Kandivali has received a bomb threat via email, prompting an immediate response from the Kandivali police station and police and bomb search squad. However, no suspicious objects have been found during the thorough search of the premises. The incident is part of this larger trend that has emerged. Multiple schools in Mumbai, viewers, have received similar threats in the recent months. In June, the Kanakya International School, also Ryan International School in Mumbai, had received bomb threat emails, which were later deemed as a hoax threat. Now, the police are investigating these incidents, trying to trace the origin of these emails and identify the culprits behind these threats. So, this is the update from Mumbai. We are now shifting our focus, viewers, to other stories. More than 40 schools, meanwhile, in Delhi, too, have received bomb threats via email, triggering swift response from Delhi police and fire services. This is the fourth such day this week that we see schools in the capital city have received bomb threats. The threat email marked to 45 schools claimed that several explosives have been placed in classrooms, and the bomber, the one who had mailed, says that he wishes that no one survives. This is part of that email. And this is a trend, viewers, that was witnessed last year as well, if you remember. And again, we see a similar trend emerging, a pattern emerging rather. And 40 schools in the national capital, 3 schools in Mumbai receiving bomb threats. You can see these are visuals where after the schools were in fact sanitized, they were evacuated, and thorough checks were conducted by the bomb disposal squad and in the national capital, in Mumbai as well. And this is, they're trying to identify and reach the source of the email as to who is spreading these this scare in the schools. And
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो, मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
After ED raids Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's Bhilai house, his son now arrested. Pakistan's bloody signature in Pahalgam now called out by the United States. White House confirms that India said that TRF is equal to Pakistan terror. It takes a major action on the TRF, that is the front of the Lashkar-e-Taiba behind the Pahalgam terror attack. Aam Aadmi Party formally quits the Indie bloc. Sanjay Singh says alliance was only for Lok Sabha polls. Nitish Rane posts a video of NCP SCP MLA Jitendra War misbehaving with journalists. Middle class run over by rich yet again. In Gandhinagar this time, BMW car kills one rich brat, gets bail. Hoax bomb threat issued to total 60 schools in Delhi, Bengaluru and Mumbai. Republic crashes all landing channels, become India's #1 and the most watched channel. And Arnab Goswami is the primetime king once again. Super Primetime Max breaches the 90% mark. A very good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking, and I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. We start with the big news that we're tracking for you. It's another case of hit and run. The rich have hit and again they have, this incident involves the rich, and this time it's a BMW driver accused in the Gujarat hit and run case has been granted bail You've heard of such cases before, and yes, he's let off on bail again. The charges are on Vatsal Karya. They were bailable. The charges filed were bailable. He was set free this morning, although the police are investigating the matter and they have collected the blood sample of the accused who is believed to have consumed alcohol. Yesterday morning in the quiet locality of Sargasan in Gandhinagar, a middle-aged man stepped out of his home just like every other day. He rode his humble Activa scooty, maybe heading to work, maybe running an errand. We'll never know now, because before he could reach his destination, his journey ended brutally by a speeding BMW, and the driver, locals say, was drunk, intoxicated, and not just on alcohol, perhaps on arrogance as well, on entitlement, on the belief that rules do not apply to those who can afford to break them. The middle-class man died on the spot. The BMW driver, he's alive. He's hospitalized, being treated, let off on bail. But who will treat the trauma of the family that just lost their loved one? Who will answer for yet another life lost in this unspoken war between privilege and the powerless? This is not just an accident, viewers. This is a story of how luxury and lawlessness are now speeding hand in hand across our cities. You can see the visual, viewers, to the right side of your screens. This is the Gandhinagar case. You can see this front, you can see this entire body in the front has been mangled. You can see the windshield, the screen has also been smashed. And imagine the impact on the individual that it hit. A scooter rider has been killed. He was on a two-wheeler. He did not have any safety equipment. It was not a luxury bike at all. It was a scooty, a humble scooty. And this BMW, worth lakhs and lakhs of rupees, rammed into it. And this man behind the wheels is let off on bail. He was drunk. He was in an inebriated state. He is now let off on bail. And why? Why these are different laws? This reminds us of the Pune car crash. The minor who continues to be, dealt as a minor and tried as a minor by the JJB, not taking even account of the law that remains. We see these luxury cars, the Audi car crash case, a Porsche case, and now you had an Audi case in the national capital on the 9th of July, ramming into, crushing those poor migrant workers who were on the footpath. Now you have this one in Gandhinagar. One scooter rider has been killed, and the accused was let off on bail. Who is the victim? It's the middle class. The middle class continues to cry for help, to fight for justice, but to no avail, because those in power, those with the money, are let off. The lines are open, viewers. You can call us on the number that is flashing on the bottom of your screen, 01203235206. It's rich versus the middle class, viewers. The two techies that were killed, their families continue to yearn for justice. They still are fighting for justice. And here is this another case in Gandhinagar of Gujarat, where this rich brat, another rich brat, has been let off on bail. He was clearly drunk. It was proven, and people are also saying that he was drunk. And the charges that were filed against him were in fact put out in such a way so that he's let off on bail. The bailable offences, he was booked under bailable offences, of course, because he must have made those phone calls to those. He must be coming from money. And he is let off on bail because reportedly he just did something that was a bailable offence. A person dies, a man is killed, but it seems to be a bailable offence. Tanisha, my colleague, joins us live on the broadcast. Tanisha, tell us more details. What are you picking up as far as this story from Gandhinagar is concerned?
Absolutely, Rakshita. Like you were just telling it to our viewers, how it is the affluent people, the influential people who quickly get bail, and that is what a life of a middleman cost. A rich brat runs over a middle class man and just gets bail in nearly 15 hours. And that's not it. Earlier, when we spoke to the family of the deceased, they had to show us the visuals of the scooter that was rammed by the BMW, and it was completely thrashed. It had hit the car, and so much so was the impact of the BMW hitting the scooter that it flew 20 meters away. And this raises serious questions on how does an affluent man, how does a rich brat get away so easily with it? And like we are showing it on screen also, it is not just about one incident from Gandhinagar. These are about several incidents that's happened in the past. It's about how in the Pune case as well, in the Porsche case as well, first the minor was let off by telling him that he should write an essay on what he did wrong. Later, he was told by the court that he will not be tried as an adult but as a minor, whereas it was just few months away to him being an adult, and still he was tried as a minor.
Tanisha, we have many people actually can understand what's really happening, and people are really enraged about this. We have Murthy from Chennai joining us on the phone line. Mr. Murthy, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, good afternoon. On what basis the judge has given the bail, nobody knows. Simply bail has been granted. The affluent can get away with anything, as Arnab says. Only the middleman suffers. There is no doubt about it.
Yes, absolutely.
The reason for this, you can see the judiciary also, each judge gives on his own decision. Whether they are going, if a person is under the influence of alcohol, he has to be put behind bars. He cannot drive a vehicle under the influence of alcohol. But where is the question? The judge is giving him bail. On what basis? Nobody knows.
Yes. Right, Mr. Murthy, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your views. Viewers, please do call in and share your views on that, because this is Republic TV, something Republic TV has always brought to the focus, that the roads and law is not only for the rich. This is the question we are raising. It's a Republic campaign. The luxury murders should stop. The luxury murders should stop, because time and again, these people behind hit-and-run cases are the rich, come from money, they come from power, they are let off, the cases continue for years and years and years, but the victim's family, they grow old fighting for their loved ones, but to no avail. And this has happened just recently, last year in Pune, the Porsche case. 2 techies were killed, 2 young lives in their 20s were lost. Recently, the migrant laborers were in fact run over by an Audi in the national capital by, again, a drunk man in his Audi. Now this is a BMW in Gandhinagar of Gujarat. 1 scooter rider has been killed. And the man who was intoxicated, he was behind the wheel, he is let off on bail, because it seems he just made there was just a bailable charge against him. Why was it so? We ask. How did he get bail? We ask. That is the big that's the big story that we are tracking for you, viewers. And you can call in with the number flashing on the bottom of your screen. Amit Merchant is our caller. Next caller, Amit Merchant, joins us on the phone line. Mr. Merchant, please go ahead with your thoughts and your opinion. What do you think? What do you want to say? Sir, please go ahead.
There has been an accident, where there has been any incident, the result is not up to the satisfying mark, because there is no value for life in India. Because these rich brats, I would say, they have no consideration for any coming in the middle of going in the middle of the road, or going in the pavement, hitting anyone, and It's absolutely ruthless driving, rash driving, and I think all should be behind the bars and giving the justice to the people injured or killed.
Right, I think there's some problem with the network, but yes, we do understand what in parts what you tried to say. Thank you so much, Mr. Amit Merchant from Pune, joining us. We will, of course, continue to receive more calls, viewers, and you can always share your thoughts and what you feel, because this is something that has been happening for years, viewers. Not about this, it's not about Pune Porsche case. It's been happening for years, and we, of course, as a nation, needs to stand together and stand united for each and every person, each and every innocent that is killed on the road and continues to await justice. Because the driver in this latest case in Gandhinagar has been granted bail, and he's said to have been inebriated. Okay, we have Ajay from Siliguri joining us on the broadcast. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for hearing me. Ma'am, what I'd like to say here is there are a lot of incidences of, the luxury cars, hitting people and then, mowing them down, most of them turning fatal. So the government has to do something about it. We just can't, the authorities just can't sit like a lame duck. What has to be done, in my opinion, is the moment, these people apply for purchasing luxury cars, you have to make them sign some kind of a bond, some kind of an indemnity bond. They have to indemnify the government that in case something happens, some fatal accident happens and the driver is found intoxicated or something, they have to pay huge penalties, maybe 5 times, 10 times the amount of the car to the deceased. Some deterrent law has to be there. You just can't sit on age-old laws, and then go on killing people. And then, we all know how our judicial system is. The reports get changed, the blood report is changed, and then, the lawyer, they change the whole scenario. And then, ultimately the accused goes scot-free. So we have to take this up very, very aggressively. This is not a joke. I would like to, request your channel to take up this nationwide. It should be a nationwide kind of an agitation.
Right, sir. Okay. It is a nationwide campaign. So Republic TV has always and will always continue to run this campaign till justice is served. Thanks so much, sir, for joining us from Siliguri. Viewers, so you can keep calling in. We have Madhusudan now from Hubli joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Madhusudan, please go ahead with your views.
But I'm just going through this particular case. And actually, to put it more in slang word, all Indian laws can be, there can be a footnote below that these laws apply only to common man, it doesn't apply to rich people. So that would be more this thing, because even justice, what is being delivered, we are finding it somewhere it is biased. And these things repeatedly are showing that common man is totally taken for a ride by the rich community. Thank you.
Right, Mr. Madhusudan, thanks so much. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast, viewers. So you can understand that our viewers and all of you, everybody in this country, it really boils our blood, viewers, when we see that these rich brats are let off. And this is what they are using. They're using their money, they're using their power, and this is setting the wrong example. Always we see that these people get away and the innocents continue to suffer on the roads. The poor, the middle class, it's them who suffer. And these rich brats, these rich killers are let off. And this is the example that has been set in this country for the longest time. But till when? We need to speak up, viewers, and that's why Republic TV continues with this campaign of #LuxuryMurder. And you can always tune in and you can always call in on the number that is flashing on your screens right now. On the bottom of the screens, it's luxury murder. They have the luxury to kill people on road and get away with it. That is this pattern that has been observed in this country. They are let off on bail, they are let off by writing an essay, they are let off as juveniles, they are let off as something that is a bailable offense, and this has been continuing. But till when? When will we start speaking up? The pressure has to be mounted, viewers, and this should stop. And we see that in this case, a similar thing has happened. It happened, this is Vatsal Karia, the man who was posing there with the policeman in Gandhinagar. He was drunk behind the wheels in BMW car, his luxury car, and he killed one scooty driver. High-end cars mowing down middle-class people on the road. It's a pattern that has become rampant, and we see no action. So this is, viewers, that Republic TV is continuing to cover. We've seen what happened in the Pune Porsche case. There were many lapses in the investigation. There was a lot of lapses in that investigation, right from collection of blood samples to him being tried. Until date, the JJB, the Juvenile Justice Board, says that it was a serious offense, but not a heinous offense. And now you see in this case also, it was a bailable offense. It seems killing a scooty driver was a bailable offense in Gandhinagar, because this was a man who was riding a BMW, who was driving a BMW, and he's let off. He's let off, and he is right now relieved. The charges were bailable, and he was set free this morning after he was arrested yesterday. Police are investigating the matter. They've collected the blood sample now, and what happened was, viewers, if I would just revisit the entire case, it happened in the quiet locality of Sargasan in Gandhinagar, and it was a middle-aged man who had stepped out of his home on his Activa, on his scooty, and before he could reach his destination, his life ended, viewers, and this is the man who was behind that. You can see, you can understand from that impact the gravity of the situation, viewers. You can see how hard this car has been hit. It struck that man, it hit that man, and then it rams into the car. There you have the CCTV. There you have. It's really a disturbing image, viewers, but you see this man coming from the other side, and he's driving away. He's driving away, and he does not stop his car. Shifting focus to other stories, the ED has arrested son of former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister and party MP Bhupesh Baghel's son Chaitanya Baghel in liquor scam linked money laundering case. The ED conducted searches at the residence of Chaitanya Baghel, and this happened, viewers, in March. Federal Probe Agency had conducted similar raids at his residence. Congress MP Bhupesh Baghel has cried witch hunt, and an attempt by the centre to muzzle the voices in opposition were raised against industrialist Gautam Adani. Meanwhile, the Congress has upped the ante, protesting outside the ED office in Raipur. So visuals of the arrest. Chaitanya Baghel has been arrested. In fact, just listen in to former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh Bhupesh Baghel after his son is arrested.
सब लोग बोल चुके हैं, नेता प्रतिपक्ष बोलने के बाद और कुछ बदला नहीं। सदन में भी कहा कि अडानी के जो पेड़ कटाई चल रहा है, इसके विरोध में पूरे कांग्रेस पार्टी लड़ाई लड़ रही है और दबाव पूरे सरकार में है, प्रशासनिक तंत्र में है और विपक्ष को दबाने के लिए ये रणनीति अपनाई गई है, जिसके कारण से आज नेता प्रतिपक्ष ने विधानसभा में ये घोषणा की कि हम इस कार्रवाई के विरोध में दिन भर के सदन की कार्रवाई बहिष्कार करते हैं। कवासी लखमा भी टारगेट किया, देवेंद्र यादव टारगेट किया, अभी मेरे बेटे को टारगेट कर रहे हैं। इसका मतलब ये है दबाने की कोशिश कि कोई आवाज़ अडानी के खिलाफ ना बोल सके।
All right, viewers. So we have RP Singh, Sardar RP Singh of the BJP, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Singh, we have Congress workers protesting outside the ED office after the arrest of Mr. Baghel's son. Mr. Baghel, meanwhile, has said that this is, targeting. It's a witch hunt by the centre, and that they're trying to just muzzle the voices of the opposition.
Well, they are saying in Hindi, "Chor machaye shor," but this case is much before our government came in. And this is about the excise policy, liquor policy. There's a big corruption happened in that, and then that's why ED is pursuing the case. If they have anything against ED, they can go to court. They tried going to court and get it quashed, but it didn't happen because ED has enough evidence to prosecute a person to take the case forward. But as Congress is, they always play a victim card. When they are caught, they always play a victim card. Best is they should seek a legal recourse.
We have Udit Raj of the Congress. Udit Raj, sir, you just heard Mr. RP Singh. He also saying that Congress is only playing victim card as Bhupesh Baghel accuses the centre of misusing the agencies. Mr. Raj.
Hello. Yeah, it's a completely misuse of agency, and those who are corrupt up to the neck. And Honorable Prime Minister named Mr. Ajit Pawar that he had embezzled 70,000 crore rupees, and he made Deputy Chief Minister. Where is the law for it? All corrupt people joining BJP are not only free, but they are being given prime position and all dignity. See, it's only to harass and discourage the opposition. However, we are not going to cow down. And this is completely misuse of ED. Right?
Right, Mr. Udit Raj, thanks so much for joining us with those with your thoughts on that story. Mr. Sardar RP Singh, thank you so much. And with that, we slip into a short break. But on the other side, Republic TV continues to closely track the top stories for you. And in a short while from now, we'll be right back.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking, and I am Rakshita Mishra with you. Let's get started with all the top stories of the day that we're tracking for you. Bhupesh Baghel's son arrested by the ED in the liquor scam, and after the raids and the arrest, Bhupesh Baghel cries vendetta. Nearly 60 schools in the national capital received bomb threats in just 3 days. Police probe underway. Middle class run over by rich yet again in Gandhinagar. BMW car kills one rich brat, gets bail. Complete collapse of law and order on the streets of Patna. Another video from the hostile firing shows accused roaming freely on the streets, brandishing the guns. US declares the TRF, the resistance front outfit behind the Pahalgam attack, as foreign terrorist organization. India hails the move. Nitish Rane posts video of NCP SCP MLA Jitendra Awad misbehaving with the journalists. Republic crashes all landing channels, becomes India's #1 and the most watched channel. Arnab Goswami is the primetime king once again, and Super Primetime Max reaches the 90% mark. All right, viewers, now almost 2 months after the dastardly Pahalgam terror attack, the United States has designated the Lashkar's proxy TRF as foreign terrorist organization. Today, the US Department of State is adding the Resistance Front as a designated foreign terrorist organization, especially designated global terrorist. Today, the US Department of State is adding the TRF as a... So Pakistan, and viewers, this is a proxy for Lashkar-e-Taiba, and it had claimed responsibility for the 22nd April terror attack in Pahalgam that killed 26. This was the deadliest attack, viewers, on civilians in India since the 2008 Mumbai attacks, and it was conducted by the LAT. That TRF claimed responsibility, and it has in fact claimed responsibility in the past for several attacks against Indian security forces also last year. So Pakistan, viewers, cannot deny, it continues to deny. United States has now named this terror outfit publicly. And Lieutenant Vinay Narwal was one of the victims, viewers, in this Pahalgam terror attack. We spoke to the family of Lieutenant Narwal. Listen in.
राजेश जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए। आज यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ने एक बहुत बड़ा कदम उठाया है। टीआरएफ, वही टेरर आउटफिट जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल था पहलगाम टेरर अटैक के लिए, उसको एक टेरर आउटफिट डेजिग्नेट कर दिया है। इट्स अ ह्यूज डिप्लोमेटिक विन फॉर इंडिया। सर, आपका क्या कहना है इस बारे में?
नमस्कार जी, मेरा इस बारे में यही कहना है कि हमारे देश के कूटनीतिज्ञों ने और राजनेताओं ने तरह से इस मुद्दे को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर उठाया और उसको संज्ञान में लेते हुए आज से यूएस गवर्नमेंट ने द रेसिस्टेंट फ्रंट को, जो कि लश्कर तैयबा से कनेक्टेड है, और उन्होंने 22 अप्रैल की जो घटना थी पहलगांव की, उसमें जो मैसेकर किया, जिसमें कि 26 भारतीय को अपनी जान गंवानी पड़ी, जिसमें मेरा बेटा लेफ्टिनेंट विनय नरवाल भी उसमें शहादत को प्राप्त हुआ, तो उसके खिलाफ एक कड़ा कदम और उसके प्रति प्रतिबद्धता जो यूएस गवर्नमेंट ने दिखाई है, ये काबिले तारीफ है और एक अच्छा कदम है। इससे इस तरह के संगठनों पर, इस तरह की कार्रवाई पर अंकुश लगाने का ये कार्य है।
अब आपकी क्या मांग है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से? बिकॉज जहाँ तक हम जानते हैं जो इंडिया यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के टाइज थे वो और स्ट्रेंथन हो गए हैं इस कदम के बाद। अब आपकी क्या मांग है? क्योंकि हमने बस कुछ ही देर पहले शुभम द्विवेदी जी से भी बात किया था, उन्होंने भी अपने भाई को खोया था पहलगाम के अटैक पे। उन्होंने कहा था कि अब जो विक्टिम्स है पहलगाम के, उनको एक शहीद का दर्जा देना चाहिए। आपकी क्या मांग है?
मेरा सरकार से मांग तो नहीं है, मेरी तो एक अपील है, और सरकार इस मामले में बहुत ही सेंसिटाइज्ड है और एक जिम्मेदार सरकार है मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में, और वो इसको बहुत ही गंभीरता के साथ इस इशू को लिया है। और जहाँ तक शहादत की बात है, तो जितने भी लोग वहाँ आतंकवाद की भेंट चढ़े हैं, तो सभी जान गंवाने वाले जो लोग हैं, व्यक्ति हैं, और उनके परिवारों की यही मांग है, अपील भी है गवर्नमेंट से कि उनको शहादत का दर्जा दिया जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये आम कोई ऐसी घटना नहीं है, ये आतंकवाद की भेंट चढ़े हैं। आतंकवाद की घटना हुई, उन्होंने ऐसा कायराना काम किया, तब उनकी ये मतलब इस दुनिया से वो हमने खोया है उनको, तो इसको शहादत मिलनी चाहिए, शहादत का दर्जा।
आपसे एक और सवाल लेना चाहूंगी। ये जो कदम है यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स का, ये कुछ ही महीनों बाद आता है, इनफैक्ट कुछ ही दिनों बाद आता है, जब आसिम मुनीर जो थे वो जब डोनाल्ड ट्रंप से मिले पिछले महीने और उन्होंने बातचीत की। अब डोनाल्ड ट्रंप और जो पाकिस्तान के लोगों के बीच में बातचीत हुई थी, उससे ये भी कहीं ना कहीं दिखाया जा रहा था कि यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ओपनली कंडेम नहीं कर रहा है जो भी पाकिस्तान ने किया है। बट आज जिस कदम से जिस तरीके से यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ने ओपनली बोल दिया है कि जो टीआरएफ है वो एक टेरर आउटफिट है, तो क्या आपको लगता है कहीं ना कहीं पाकिस्तान के जो भी अटेम्प्ट्स थे, उनके जो भी मकसद थे कि अपने आप को दूर रखने इस पहलगाम टेरर अटैक से, उनका जो रोल है वो सामने ना आए, वो कहीं ना कहीं कंप्लीटली डिमोलिश हो चुका है?
यस मैम, एब्सोल्युटली मैं सहमत हूँ आपकी इस ओपिनियन से, क्योंकि उन्होंने कोशिश तो की है कि किसी तरह से पहलगाम टेररिस्ट अटैक था जो, उससे हम अपनी दूरी बना के रखें, उसमें कहीं पर भी लश्कर तैयबा का या टीआरएफ का किसी तरह से ना पता लगे, जबकि टीआरएफ ने तो जिम्मेदारी ली जो कि लश्कर तैयबा से कनेक्टेड है, और लश्कर तैयबा क्या है ये सबसे किसी से छुपा नहीं है पूरी दुनिया से। तो यूएस ने भले ही देर से किया, लेकिन देर नहीं कह सकते, उसने भी अपने लेवल पर अपने एंड पर जो भी कार्रवाई करनी थी, कोई देखना था, कोई इन्वेस्टिगेट करना था, वो उसने करके और तह तक पहुंच करके तब ये कदम उठाया है। और साथ में मेरे एक और अपील है इस दुनिया के सभी कूटनीतिज्ञों से कि इस तरह के जो भी आतंकवादी संगठन हैं या इस तरह की कोई भी विचारधारा है, कोई भी मतलब स्कूल है, क्या है, छोटा सा भी कनेक्शन है किसी से भी, तो उन सबको ही डेजिग्नेट कर देना चाहिए। और डेजिग्नेट करने के साथ मात्र ये नहीं कि उनको डेजिग्नेट करके छोड़ दे, उनके खिलाफ ये नहीं है कि भाई हम उनसे वास्ता नहीं रखेंगे या उनको बायकाट करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं, उनके खिलाफ एक्शन करना चाहिए, उनको खत्म करना चाहिए। खत्म करना मतलब ये नहीं कि अभी कागजों पे खत्म कर दें, नो, नॉट इट एट ऑल। जो भी उससे इन्वॉल्व हैं, उसमें कनेक्टेड हैं, जो जिनका उसमें रोल है, जो उनको पोसते हैं, पालते हैं, तो उन सब को जड़ से खत्म करना चाहिए। जड़ से खत्म करने का मतलब मैं स्पष्ट कह देता हूं, उनको दुनिया से ही खत्म कर देना चाहिए।
Viewers, we have now how TRF had routed money for its nefarious activities. It routed money through real estate in Kashmir. Terror money. This money for terror funding was invested in real estate of Kashmir via assets of Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists, Hazm and Fufu, who were used to root money of TRF. And many high-profile investments were done in these real estate projects in Kashmir, viewers. The TRF routed money through real estate in Kashmir. I have my colleague Gursimran Singh for more details. Gursimran, help us understand what does it really mean if they were funneling money here through real estate. There must be people also who are involved there on ground, who are helping the TRF actually, help in this funneling of the funds.
Yes, Rakshita, you have rightly mentioned that what has happened during investigation of the several cases and also the modus operandi of the resistance front in the Kashmir Valley, it came into being that terror organization was using the real estate business for actually manifolding its money. Two individuals have been identified as Hazam and Fufu. They were the active, actually the players who were doing it on the behalf of the resistance front. See, what happens that when a property is sold, it is sold at the government rates because for the registry and all the documentation, it has to go by the government rates. But there is a black money that is involved, that some amount of money that has to be paid in cash, and that was actually getting manifold. Reason being that the properties that are being purchased with this money that were being sold at regular intervals, and the way the prices of the properties are skyrocketing, that was indeed helping the resistance front to generate the funds. It has come during investigation that has been carried out by the intelligence wing of Jammu and Kashmir Police that the real estate has played a very vital role. There were some big guns that have gone beyond a certain point to invest crores and crores into the properties, because see what was happening, the post 2019, the investors were also coming into the Kashmir Valley, so they thought that it is the best time to actually get their money involved in the real estate, so that when the investment will come in the real estate, their money will manifold. And that too had happened to a large extent, because from 2019 to 2022-23, it was a year prior to the killing of Basir Dar in 2024 that their real estate industry got shut for the resistance front. Otherwise, since 2023, they were actually minting a good amount of money that was actually being manifold using these Hazam and Fufu, two names that have emerged during the investigation. So this real estate and the terror proxy, this was actually the plan of the Pakistan's Lashkar, that how there will be a regular funding for the resistance front and they do not have to depend upon the Lashkar to send money from across, but they will be actually manifolding their money using this trade of real estate in Jammu and Kashmir.
Right. Thanks so much, Gursimran, for joining us with those important details coming in. We have Major General S.P. Sinha, defense expert, joining us on the broadcast. He has served in Jammu and Kashmir. He understands this well. Sir, if you could help our viewers understand how this, this entire funneling of money, the terror funding has been continuing, because we've seen how Lashkar tried to give via TRF an indigenous face to it. It has been recruiting the youth. It has used social media time and again for radicalization, and after Pahalgam attack, it was very important to in fact crack the way. But how do you think that all this was going on for such a long time?
You see, first of all, I would like to compliment Modi government that it is the decision of United States of America is a diplomatic, our political, moral victory for India. And down the line, I feel that America has started realizing that it cannot play truant with India, and it has to resort to measures which are likely to please India. And that is why such a belated action on the part of this Pahalgam incident happened months back. Why America is reacting now?
Yes.
Aren't their intelligence agencies aware that TRF was involved? Why so much of delay? That means this delay, first of all, they entertain General Field Marshal Munir. They give him, he has lunch with him.
Yes.
And now you're trying to declare TRF. The question is, this action on the part of America is inadequate. It does not satisfy me. America has to take a bold action. Who is the author? Who is the script writer for all these terror activities? It is Pakistan government. It is the Pakistan army. It is Pakistan army chief. What action has been taken by United States of America against these people, these organizations, these individuals? Nothing. You give him lunch, and now you say that TRF is a terrorist organization. Why can't you hold Pakistan army chief and Shahbaz Sharif responsible for these actions? Isn't it a fact that when the dead bodies had to be honored, these people, the government officials, army people, they were there to honor him? So involvement of Pakistan government and army is very clear. The chap who is the director, the individual who is the director, you don't do anything about him. And you name the organization. And this is just an eyewash. I personally feel it is an eyewash. It means nothing for me. Because Hafiz Saeed roams freely, Shahabuddin roams freely in Pakistan. They get money support. Now with regards to organizing terror activities, let me tell you, there are many ways in which these terror organizations raise money. Real estate, drugs, mafia, all this, they have special NGOs. In the name of their religion, they raise money. Certain Muslims go to USA, Canada, and they open an NGO and they start raising money. And these are the sources from which this terrorist organization, and of course, Pakistan government support. Isn't it a fact that Hafiz Saeed was given a special train to organize the rally?
Absolutely, sir.
If an individual is a international terrorist, how can you give him a special train to organize rally? And how is it that these terrorists who stay in jails of Pakistan, they are supposed to be in jail and they keep producing children? How is it possible? I have no doubt that the government of Pakistan and basically Army Chief and ISI, they fully support. They are actual culprits. They have to be held accountable. And only a very strong action against these people will please me. Pakistan should be put in grey list and on blacklist immediately.
Right, General Sinha. Yes, General Sinha, absolutely. It's not the first time that the terror outfit has been called out by the United States, but we see the duality in its approach time and again. We've seen what America has been doing when it comes to this issue of Pakistan. And of course, India needs to be wary of that and continue with its counter-terrorism efforts. Thank you so much, Major General Sinha, for joining us with your thoughts on this story. In fact, we'll just tell you how Pakistan has already acknowledged the support for TRF. It was the Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar himself who had acknowledged the support for TRF, a proxy group for Lashkar-e-Taiba, while trying to get its name removed from a UNSC statement. This happened, viewers, if you remember, during Operation Sindoor. Here's that admission we're talking about.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में एक फोरम बना जिसका नाम है द रेजिस्टेंस फोरम, और उस पे उसको कंडेम किया गया, उसको जिम्मेदार ठहराया गया उस प्रेस रिलीज में। तो मुझे आई, मैंने देखा, मैंने कहा ये एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं। पहलगाम के साथ आपको लिखना पड़ेगा जम्मू एंड कश्मीर। मुझे बड़े बड़े कैपिटल से कॉलें आई कि देखें इस वक्त मैं कहा नथिंग डूइंग, ये नहीं हो सकता, पाकिस्तान विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट। वो कहते आप पे ब्लेम आएगा, प्रेस रिलीज नहीं हुई, इतना बड़ा वाकया हुआ, आपके जाबर एक्सप्रेस भी ये आई थी, कंडेमनेशन की, टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी को कंडेम किया गया था। मैंने कहा वी आर रेडी, बट प्लीज यू हैव टू पुट इन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर एंड हैव टू डिलीट दिस TRF।
because Republic TV got you the story of, in fact, the CCTV footage from inside the hospital, the firing that happened in Paras Hospital. Today we get you the CCTV footage of how those gun-wielding men had in fact exited the hospital after committing the murder, and they were in broad daylight brandishing this gun, as you can see, on the road. Sort of a victory march, it seems. It's a free run for the gangsters, viewers, in Patna, in the state of Bihar. These are bike-borne gangsters with pistols. They were exiting the Patna's Paras Hospital, and you can see a girl who was there, school girl in uniform with a school bag. She was going to walk down the road, but she just got scared of this scene. And she just, looked for a safe hideout, because obviously it's a terrifying state of affairs. CCTV 1, CCTV 2. You saw this, open firing. This is happening inside the hospital. These 5 men enter. They open fire on gangster Chandan Mishra. He dies, and they go away. They go away unscathed, and then celebrations after the shootout also continue. So look at them, absolute no fear of law and order in Bihar. And this is not the first instance of a high-profile murder that has come under public eye. We saw what happened with Gopal Khemka. Years ago, what happened with his son. And despite all the security threats, there's no action that has been taken by the administration. All that the Bihar police says is that farmers are very free in this season. They're giving a weather update, and they blame it on the farmers being so idle that they're indulging in crimes. So that is the state of affairs in the state of Bihar. And all this is happening ahead of the assembly elections. Opposition, of course, is also raising questions. Now take a listen into what Paras Hospital's director has to say.
पारस हॉस्पिटल पिछले 13 सालों से आपको पता है कि पटना में चल रहा है और मरीजों की सेवा कर रहा है सर। जो हमारा सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम है वो वैसे ही तत्पर रोज़ काम कर रहा है जो पिछले 13 सालों से करता है। ये एक जो घटना घटी है कल, जो अपन सब लोग इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, ये बहुत ही अनफॉर्चुनेट है सर, जिसके बारे में किसी ने नहीं सोचा होगा। हम डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिशन का, पटना पुलिस का और सब लोगों का धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने हॉस्पिटल में आए हुए मरीजों का और जो मरीज़ थे या जो स्टाफ था और जो पूरा जो ये वाक़या हुआ उसके अंदर पूरा सपोर्ट किया और उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से इसका निर्वाह किया।
कोई भी अपराधी आके किसी को भी मार के चला जा सकता है।
देखिए सर, कैसा है कि फिर मैं बता रहा हूँ कि हमारे, तो मैं फिर बोल रहा हूँ कि हॉस्पिटल में आने वाला हर आदमी अंडर होता है तो वो एक अपना एम लेके आता है कि अपना इलाज कराना है या अपने परिजनों का इलाज करना है। ये चीज़ें सोच के परे की बात है। पहली बात तो ये है, डेफिनेटली कोई भी सिस्टम में कुछ भी होता है, चाहे अपने घर में है, परिवार में है, क्या नाम, समाज में है, किसी भी संस्था में है, जो भी होता है, जो भी इंसिडेंट होते हैं उसके ऊपर अपन लोग फिर और पेनी नज़र से और ठीक से करने की कोशिश करते हैं। उसी का एक प्रोसेस चलता है, डेफिनेटली वो हम भी करेंगे।
सीसीटीवी फुटेजेस जितने हैं पुलिस ले गई है, पुलिस को आप लोग सहयोग किस तरीके से?
तरह से मेरा सहयोग पूरी तरह से, या पारस हॉस्पिटल का सहयोग पूरी तरह से पुलिस को है। जो उनको जो जानकारी चाहिए, जैसे चाहिए, हम लोगों ने अभी तक उनको अपलोड कराई और कराएंगे, और उनको जितनी जानकारी चाहिए सब उपलब्ध कराई जाएगी।
आपने अपने किसी स्टाफ पर एक्शन लिया है?
मेरे के स्टाफ इसमें कोई इन्वॉल्वमेंट ही नहीं है तो एक्शन का कोई सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता। अभी ये देखते हैं सर कि क्या रहता है।
मानते हैं कि आपके हॉस्पिटल की कोई लापरवाही नहीं?
सर ऐसे कहना, अभी तक मेरे को नहीं लगता कि कोई लापरवाही है।
आपके प्रेमिसेस के अंदर घुस गए वो तो कोई लापरवाही नहीं है। मैं मानता हूँ बिहार पुलिस की लापरवाही तो है ही।
मैं नहीं कह रहा, ये एक घटना है जो घटी है। इसके ऊपर जो भी सरकार की तरफ से अपना वो भी देख रहे हैं कि क्या हुआ है, हम भी अपने अस्पताल के अंदर देख रहे हैं।
पूरे बिहार में लाइन ऑर्डर का जो भी इमारतें थी, दीवारें थी, सब ध्वस्त हो चुका है। तंत्र पूरी तरह से एकदम घुटना टेक दिया है और अपराधी सत्ता के संरक्षण प्राप्त कर करके वो विजय बन गए हैं, और इस कदर विजय बने हैं कि सम्राट की भूमिका में अपराधी आ गया है। सत्ता का संरक्षण जो है, खेमका की मौत ने पूरे पटना वासियों के जेहन में खौफ पैदा कर दिया। किसका ग्रहण लग गया है? माननीय नीतीश कुमार जी अचेत हैं, ये बात स्वीकार लेनी चाहिए। मेडिकल बुलेटिन लोग नहीं जारी कर रहा है क्योंकि चाहता है कि इसको किसी तरह से बरसात हम निकाल दें, लेकिन हर व्यक्ति जो राजनीति का हल्का सा ज्ञान रखता है उसको इस बात का आभास है कि नीतीश कुमार अचेत है। वंस अपॉन ए टाइम देयर वाज नीतीश कुमार, नाउ भेर नीतीश कुमार।
वार जो हुआ है, आपको क्या लगता है ये क्या संदेश दे रहा है? गैंग वार हॉस्पिटल में आम आदमी भी इलाज कराता है वहाँ, उसके बाद ओपनली बंदूक लहराया जा रहा है, बच्चियाँ डरी हुई।
अधिकारी बेलगाम, प्रशासन बेलगाम, अपराधी बेखौफ। अब अपराधियों का जब खौफ पुलिस में दिखा जाए तो कानून का राज स्थापित नहीं हो सकता है। जब तक पुलिस बलों का खौफ अपराधियों में नहीं दिखेगा, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को कोई दुरुस्त नहीं कर सकता है। इन दिनों अपराधियों का खौफ पुलिस पर है।
All right, time for a short break, but we get you the story from Chhattisgarh. ED has raided ex-Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's son house in Bhilai. Chaitanya Baghel now arrested. And the middle class run over by the rich yet again. This time the case from Gandhinagar. BMW car kills one, the rich brat gets bail.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Bhupesh Baghel's son arrested in the liquor scam by the ED. Baghel alleges witch hunt by the centre. Nearly 60 schools in the national capital received bomb threats in just 3 days. Police probe underway. Middle class run over by the rich yet again. Now in Gandhinagar, BMW car kills one rich brat, gets bail. Complete collapse of law and order on the streets of Patna. Another video from a hospital firing shows accused now roaming freely on the streets, brandishing the gun. US declares the resistance front, that is the TRF, a proxy of Lashkar-e-Taiba, the outfit behind Pahalgam attack, as foreign terrorist as an organization. India hails move. Nitish Rane posts a video of NCP SCP MLA Jitendra Award misbehaving with journalists. Republic crashes all landing channels, becomes India's #1 and the most watched channel. And Arnab is the primetime king once again. Super Primetime Max reaches the 90% mark. Alright, we have breaking news coming in. Rohit Pawar of the NCP SCP was seen getting into a heated argument with the police officers. This happened at Mumbai's Azad Maidan police station. Viewers, the confrontation occurred when Rohit Pawar, accompanied by the supporters, visited the station seeking information about Deshmukh's whereabouts. Now, frustrated with the lack of clear answers, Rohit Pawar's exchange with the police sub-inspector escalated, and visibly he's upset. He gets upset. He wants the officer to lower his voice and not raise his hand. Visual of that altercation on your screens as Rohit Pawar allegedly threatens the police officers. We'll try and listen in. That's a footage of the high voltage drama that unfolded at the Azad Maidan police station. NCP SCP MLA threatening the cops openly. Rohit Pawar there threatening the police at Azad Maidan police station. Huge ruckus unfolding at the police station, Mumbai's Azad Maidan police station. Rohit Pawar there. You can see when he's speaking to in fact, he's not speaking, he's threatening the cops there. You can see him raising his finger, telling him to lower his tone, lower his voice, and not raise his hand. Then there's another policeman who comes in, who intervenes there. And this is a scene from a police station. NCP Sharad Chandra Pawar party leader, Rohit Pawar, his relative, of course. And I have... all right, viewers. So the NCP SCP MLA, all right, this is NCP SCP's Rohit Pawar, who got into a heated argument, and he said that don't raise your hand, lower your voice, and he's unable to get clear answers.
पोलिसांना सहकार्य केलं पोलिसांनी नीट वागले गोपने साहेब नीट वागलं पाहिजे नीट बोललं पाहिजे ना साहेबांना हात लावायचं नाही असं वाटतं काय आपण प्रतिनिधीबरोबर कसं बोलतो हे तर कळायला पाहिजे
That unfolded, the high voltage drama that unfolded at Mumbai Azad Maidan police station, and it's Rohit Pawar, the NCP SCP MLA, that who was there threatening the cops openly, and this footage is going viral. We see that there were Pawar was accompanied by his supporters, and tensions of course peaked there, and the police sub-inspector was literally threatened, if you can see in that footage. Rohit Pawar in that in that video from police station, he is clearly saying that lower your voice and don't raise your hand, and that is the visual that is emerging from the police station, and matter of the scuffle that is begun. In fact, there was a scuffle earlier inside the assembly premises where Deshmukh, a known associate of Pawar, was allegedly assaulted, and there's a background to it, viewers. And now you see that high voltage drama unfolded. Rohit Pawar being at the center of it, he confronted Mumbai police over the detention of party worker Nitin Deshmukh. And the scuffle, of course, has been caught on camera, a heated argument.
A video of NCP SCP MLA Jitendra Awadh has been posted by Nitish Rane, where he is seen misbehaving with a journalist. This comes a day after heated exchange between Awadh and BJP MLA Padalkar outside the legislature complex. And this is a clash that has been seen inside Vidhan Sabha, where we are seeing that there was on camera Jitendra Awadh who has hit out at the journalist. It is shocking, this kind of display of arrogance that has been caught on camera. We're showing you the visuals of that on our screens, where we are showing you the video of NCP SCP MLA Jitendra Awadh. It's been caught on camera, and how he has assaulted a journalist. This is the big news that we are staying with, viewers. The NCP SCP MLA has now assaulted a journalist. He misbehaves with a journalist. There's a heated exchange between Awadh and the BJP MLA Padalkar outside the legislature complex, and you can see the BJP MLA and NCP SP clash after he's misbehaved with the journalist. There is once again, and not the first time, we are seeing a clash that has been posted, and the Jitendra Awadh, this has been posted by Nitish Rane, where he's misbehaving with a journalist. This is after there has been seen him assaulting the journalist. And let me go across to the sequence.
सर हिंदी में क्या लग रहा है? सर हिंदी में क्या लग रहा है? सर हिंदी में क्या लग रहा है?
And I'm joined right now by leader Shaina MC, who's now joining us on the phone line. Shaina MC, how do we look at this? This is a clash inside Vidhan Bhavan. This is looking at an assault at a journalist inside the Vidhan Bhavan. If this can happen by the NCP, SCP, MLA, what possibly can we expect from our politicians?
I think it's most unfortunate, whether it is the cuss words against a reporter on duty or whether this is not the first time. We know that Mr. Awad has been privy to many controversies. Having said that, I think one needs to apologize because property in public life is most important. Yesterday we saw a scuffle which has been condemned by all political parties. In the past, when Jitendra Awad was the housing minister, apparently he used the cuss word against a reporter and then apologized. So I think that, these type of behavior of one-upmanship and entitlement is something that needs to be condemned in totality. And Maharashtra has always been an extremely peace-loving and respectful state, and we hope that in the days to come we can maintain the same kind of decorum in the house and outside the house.
Shaina NC, Awadh has misbehaved with the journalist, and this is not the first time that we are seeing this kind of behavior that is happening. And this is not also only about Jitendra Awadh who's misbehaved with the journalist, but also the treatment that is being done in the Vidhan Sabha. This is the place of democracy which has to be worshipped. But the NCP, SCP believes that this is a place to be mocked. There is fighting, there is ruckus, there is chaos, and then now there is assault.
Well, our Chief Minister has gone forward yesterday itself, where he has condemned this kind of violence in the house and outside. But I think that introspection has to come from within, and it is for his own party leaders to break this up. I hope that in the days to come, Maharashtra is able to see peace and respect coexist, because that has been the meaning of this great state of ours that, emboldens people on the basis of how they conduct themselves in public life with a certain kind of sanskriti and sabhyata. And for those who don't have it, time to introspect, please, because people will not take this lying down. This is not the first time he's gotten into a scuffle. There are multiple incidents that one can raise. And some people who try to be these macho men who take law into their hands, they must understand there's a process of law also which follows. And whether it was the clash yesterday between Paralkar's, Karyakartas and Jitendra Awad's Karyakartas, I think it's time for all of us to collectively speak up, because if there is a temple of democracy in Delhi, which is Parliament, the temple of democracy in Maharashtra is the Vidhan Bhavan, and no such situation should be allowed to go out of hand.
Thank you, Shaina NC, for giving us those details. Viewers, the accused in the Gujarat hit-and-run case has been granted bail. The charges on Vatsal Karia were bailable. He was set free this morning. Though the police are investigating the matter, they have collected the blood sample of the accused, who's believed to have consumed alcohol yesterday morning in the quiet locality of Sargasan in Gandhinagar. We're also getting details. The middle-aged man stepped out of his home just like every other day. He rode his humble Activa. He may be heading to work, maybe running an errand. We'll never know. Because before he could reach his destination, his journey was ended brutally by a speeding BMW. The driver, locals say, was drunk, intoxicated, not just on alcohol, but maybe on arrogance, on entitlement, on the belief that rules don't apply to those who can afford to break them. The middle-class man died on the spot. And you ask the BMW driver, well, he's alive, hospitalized, being treated. But who will treat the trauma of the family that just lost their loved one? Who will answer for yet another life lost in this unspoken war between privilege and the powerless? This is not just an accident. This is a story of how luxury and lawlessness are now speeding hand in hand across our cities. Your volume today is low. Please make it high.
He is the son of the deceased and also Rajendra Tiwari, who is the brother-in-law of the deceased. He is also a lawyer. Bharat and Rajendra, बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए. आपसे जानना चाहूँगी, कब आपको इस बारे में पता चला कि ये इंसिडेंट हो क्या है, कब आपको खबर आई और किस तरीके से आपने इस केस को फॉरवर्ड ले जा रहे हैं अभी?
मैम, मुझे अराउंड 7:20 के आसपास एक कॉल आया था मॉर्निंग में. उन्होंने पहले मुझे इन्फॉर्म किया कि मेरे फादर को एक्सीडेंट हुआ है सूर्या सर्कल के आसपास, अनिर्देश बंगलो के बाजू में. तो मैं जस्ट तैयार होकर निकल ही रहा था उस टाइम पे, क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा पैनिक में आ गया था. फिर 1 मिनट बाद ही उन्होंने दोबारा कॉल करके बोला कि आप जल्दी आ जाइए क्योंकि उनकी डेथ हो गई है. तो एकदम से ट्रॉमा जैसा हो गया था, क्योंकि एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था. मैं एक्चुअली सुबह जल्दी उठा था ऑफिस का काम करने के लिए, तो जस्ट मैंने लैपटॉप स्टार्ट ही किया था, उतने में मेरे पास ऐसी न्यूज़ आई. तो मैं तो ट्रॉमा में था. तो हमारे वो साथ में जो 10th फ्लोर पे हमारी सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, वो मेरे साथ आए यहाँ पे. तो इधर सूर्य सर्कल से जो टर्न आता है, वहाँ पे मैंने देखा कि मेरे फादर की डेड बॉडी यहाँ पे पड़ी हुई थी. एंड BMW की हालत बहुत खराब थी, मतलब वो पेड़ से बुरी तरह क्रैश हुई थी. एंड उसका मतलब आगे का बोनट वगैरह एंड सब कुछ उड़ गया था. एंड सारे एयरबैग्स भी उसके खुले हुए थे उस टाइम पे.
And we're also getting you more breaking news right now. And this is Chaitanya Baghel, son of former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, who was arrested by the ED in connection with a multi-crore Liqour scam. The ED produced Chaitanya before the PMLA court in Raipur after conducting raids at his residence in Bhilai. We have more details on the story as the ED has arrested him. I'm also getting you breaking news details that have been shared on the story in the Raipur case as the Enforcement Directorate has arrested him now. I'm telling you, the investigating agency has in its possession unimpeachable evidence that part of money is generated through the liquor scam, that is the sale of illegal liquor through government shops using forged holograms, was routed through Chaitanya Baghel's real estate venture.
कुछ कहना चाहिए सर, कुछ कहना चाहिए सर, कुछ कहना चाहिए सर.
आराम से आराम से आराम से.
Let's take a look at what's making headlines across the nation.
Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can. Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can. Bharat 1 Minute.
And the other top focus, more than 40 schools in Delhi received a bomb threat via email, triggering swift response from Delhi police and fire services. Viewers, this is the fourth such day this week when schools in the capital received bomb threats. The threat emails marked to 45 schools claimed several explosives have been placed in the classrooms and they wish that no one survives. I'm showing you the graphics of the email which says I have placed several explosive devices within the classrooms and the explosives are skillfully hidden in black plastic bags. This is what has been written in the hoax bomb threat letter. It says not a single soul will survive. It also goes on to say I will gladly laugh when I watch it on the news. I was never truly helped, psychiatrist, psychologist, no one had ever cared and no one will ever care. Let me try and go across to a reaction that's coming in from one of the principals of these schools.
We received the mail at almost 10:52 at night yesterday, and we have taken a step. Consecutively we are also getting, because 3 days prior we also received the mail. At that time also we followed the protocol and everything was being...
Who was the sender?
Sender is unknown. It is somewhere from the cyber cells are finding it out, and they have said that this is a fake mail that we have received at that time. Today also we have forwarded, and probably, I do not know, is something somewhere from Germany that they have quoted, and but yet to come up.
From Germany? Did you inform Delhi police?
Something that the origin is speaking like that, but they are still going into it. I cannot comment on it because that's not my specification. We have forwarded the mail to them. They wanted the origin in the morning only. We have forwarded everything to them, and they said that, ma'am, nothing to worry, because they came, they cross-check every nook and corner of our school. We ensured by 6 o'clock that the school is safe for our students, and then we have released our buses and children are here. And I assure from our management side that all the schools, those who are getting, definitely everybody is taking care, and safety of the students are our concern, and we will take all the measures necessary for the safety of our students.
In the last 3 days, what we have seen that Richmond Global School earlier also received an email on Wednesday. Today is Friday, right? In last 3 days, 2 back-to-back emails. Was it the same sender who has sent this mail to you, ma'am?
We have forwarded. This is unknown name, and the masked some IPs.
Email ID must be there.
Email ID is there. We have forwarded it
to Delhi police.
Yes. We have already forwarded entire detail to the cyber cell as well as Delhi police. Everything is given to them. They are the right person who will give you the information.
Viewers, the Indian Navy is all set to commission its first indigenous diving support vessel, Nistar, at Naval Dockyard, Visakhapatnam today, and they will be significantly boosting the submarine support operations. Take a look.
The Indian Navy is days away from commissioning a brand new ship that cannot launch a missile, fire a gun, or chase an adversary. Yet planners consider it as critical to national security as any destroyer on the order of battle. That ship is INS Nistar, a 9,350-ton diving support vessel delivered on July 8, 2025 and slated to join the fleet formally on the 18th. Built by Hindustan Shipyard Limited with roughly 75% indigenous content, Nistar trades combat power for something submariners value even more: the certainty that if disaster strikes hundreds of meters below the surface, help will come from home waters fast. Her entire design is built around that promise. A vast working deck supports a pair of deep submergence rescue vessels, the small pressure-hardened craft that can mate to a crippled submarine's escape hatch and ferry sailors to safety. Remote-operated vehicles fitted with sonars, cameras and manipulators can descend a full kilometer to assess damage, clear tangled debris or guide the DSRV into position. Diving belts, decompression chambers and saturation systems let teams of specialist divers work on wrecks for hours instead of minutes. Even the hull stabilizers and dynamic positioning thrusters exist for a single purpose: to hold the ship rock steady over a stricken boat while the clock ticks on lives below. The urgency behind such capability is no abstraction. In August 2013, the Kilo-class submarine INS Sindhu Rakshak suffered a devastating explosion and sank at her Mumbai berth, killing all 18 crew members. No rescue was possible due to the severity of the incident. Going back further still, the name Nistar carries the memory of another crisis beneath Indian waters. In the opening nights of the 1971 Indo-Pak War, the Pakistani submarine PNS Ghazi sank off Visakhapatnam, likely the victim of an internal explosion or accidental detonation of her own mines, as confirmed by Indian Navy investigations. Divers operating from the Soviet-built tender INS Nistar, commissioned in 1971, combed the wreck, gathering intelligence and ensuring safe traffic around the busy harbour. That first Nistar never fired a shot either, but her presence shaped operational freedom in the Bay of Bengal. The 2025 vessel bears the same name by design, a tribute to quiet guardians who served between wars, their success measured in lives preserved rather than tonnage sunk. However, it's an entirely new build, not a continuation, clarifying any confusion about its origins. Yet the new Nistar is no mere homage. It embodies the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision in steel and circuitry, domestically produced high-tensile hull sections, Indian-developed launch and recovery systems, locally manufactured saturation diving kits, and software written by homegrown firms to knit the whole rescue architecture together. Each component shortens supply chains, strengthens industrial skill sets, and reduces the leverage outsiders can exert in a moment of need. For naval headquarters, the payoff is simple. Submarines can deploy farther and linger longer, confident that a dedicated guardian is available without diplomatic clearances or transoceanic mobilizations. For the crew families watching key link ceremonies become sail-away dates, Nistar is a promise that the country will own the means to bring loved ones back should the worst happen. So when the commissioning pennant rises over INS Nistar and no ceremonial broadside accompanies the salute, the absence of gunfire itself will be the message. Power at sea is not measured only by the weapons a ship carries, but by the resilience it confers on the force as a whole. With Nistar in the lineup, India can project submarines with the confidence that its most silent warriors are no longer one mechanical fault away from dependence. A vessel that cannot fight has at last given the fleet the freedom to fight, and that makes her as potent an addition as any frigate bristling with missiles.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
ग्रेजुटी का चेक है, बस इन पैसों को हम कहीं इन्वेस्ट कर दें और रेगुलर इनकम भी आती रहे।
तो फिर फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स में डाल दीजिए। फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स चुने हुए इंटरेस्ट बेरिंग कंपनी बॉन्ड, गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड और मनी मार्केट में पैसा डालते हैं और सिस्टमैटिक विड्रॉल प्लान के जरिए आपको ऑन द डॉट फिक्स्ड अमाउंट भी मिलती रहेगी।
म्यूचुअल फंड्स में फिक्स्ड इनकम वाली बात सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
It's 4 p.m. and you're watching live and breaking with me, Shavan Sen. TRF has now been banned by the United States of America. Evidence provided by India. Over the next couple of minutes, we're going to take you through all the details that we've gathered so far. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. NCP Sharad Pawar legislator Rohit Pawar gets into a heated argument with police officers at Mumbai's Azad Maidan police station. Republic confronts NCP SCB MLA Jitendra Awad after he hits a journalist. After Enforcement Directorate raids ex-Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh Bhupesh Baghel's Bhilai house, his son has now been arrested. Bhupesh Baghel's son arrested. Baghel says not scared of the Enforcement Directorate. Middle class run over by rich yet again. In Gandhinagar, BMW car kills one rich brat, gets bail. Complete collapse of law and order on the streets of Patna. Another video from hospital firing shows accused roaming freely on the streets. US declares the Resistance Front outfit behind Pahalgam attack as foreign terrorist organization. India hails move. Republic crashes all landing channels, becomes India's #1 and most watched channel. Arnab is the primetime king once again, and Super Primetime Max reaches the 90% mark. Starting this edition with some breaking news now coming in. Earlier today, raids were being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate at former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's residence in Bhilai. In fact, Enforcement Directorate has now arrested his son Chaitanya Baghel, who has been sent to 5-day custody. Enforcement Directorate has made the arrest in the liquor scam case. The details that we are now getting from the court as he has now been produced. We'll try and also go across to our legal editor, Ridhamanand Bhardwaj, who's getting us the latest details. The Enforcement Directorate had to say that they have unimpeachable evidence that part of the monies that were generated through the liquor scam, sale of illegal liquor through government shops, were being using forged holograms. was routed to Chaitanya Baghel's real estate venture. In fact, a liquor businessman accused Trilok Singh Dhillon has also been connected to this particular case. Let me also bring in our legal editor who's joining us on this broadcast. Rhythm, with regards to this particular case, which was registered just days before Chhattisgarh went to elections, in fact, the former chief minister says that there is nothing but political vendetta. As far as evidence that has been gathered by the enforcement directorate, what is it that they had to reveal in the court?
Well, the ED has searched the residence even earlier of the Chhattisgarh former chief minister and the other political counterparts. This is not something new, Shavan, but as you would yourself know, as someone who follows the investigative agencies very closely, they've been raiding over 3 dozen places in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh in connection with the money laundering related case or the liquor scam case for the longest number of time. Dhillon's name has been coming up for the longest number of time. So has Bhupesh Baghel's political advisor Vinod Verma's name been coming up. There have been 34 places that were earlier raided. Now that we are seeing that a final arrest has been made, what we have to understand from this is that they have got the complete details and the evidence. This means that the lawyers for the enforcement directorate who are present in the court are telling the court that they have clear direct evidence that part of the money that has been generated through the liquor scam, that is the illegal liquor scam that happened in the government shops, was routed through Chaitanya Baghel's real estate venture through, like we said, liquor-based businessman and accused Trilok Singh Dhillon. So things are looking quite bad for the former chief minister Bhupesh Baghel and his son, as links are very clearly coming out.
Well, in fact, he has now been produced in the court is what we are being told. In fact, Rhythm, as you're getting us more details, this is the first big arrest that has been made in the liquor scam, which is being probed by the enforcement directorate. In fact, multiple locations where the raids were carried out. Talking specifically about the chief minister's son's role, what is it that the enforcement directorate had to tell the court, and why do they believe that there is a direct link between Chhattisgarh chief minister, former Chhattisgarh chief minister's son, with that of some of the businessmen who were part of this entire alleged racket? Rhythm, if you can hear me, the question that I was asking was with regards to the direct connection emerging between the former chief minister's son as well as the liquor mafia. In fact, we're given to understand that over the last few months, the enforcement directorate has not only been able to figure out the hawala transactions that have essentially taken place and the fact that the liquor scam that was perpetrated in the state was through several of these liquor businessmen who were operating and licenses that were granted to them during Bhupesh Baghel's regime. In fact, it turns out that all of it was being routed through real estate venture. This real estate venture, we have once again given to understand, has been linked to the former chief minister's son. The big story that we're tracking today is the banning of the TRF. Almost 2 months after the dastardly Pahalgam terror attack, US in fact has designated Lashkar's proxy, TRF, as the foreign terrorist organization. Today, the US Department of State has added that the Resistance Front, the TRF, is a designated foreign terrorist organization and specially designated global terrorist. In fact, the US Department of State has added that this is essentially after evidence that was gathered and that there is a direct link with the Lashkar-e-Toiba, which claimed the responsibility of the 22nd April Pahalgam attack, which killed 26 civilians. In fact, this was one of the deadliest attacks on civilians in India since the 2008 Mumbai attacks that were conducted by the Lashkar-e-Toiba. TRF has also claimed responsibility for several attacks against Indian security forces, including most recently in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, the details that we are picking up right now is with regards to the evidence that India has shared with regards to the TRF's terror footprint that you're essentially seeing. This is a group that was basically floated after the abrogation of Article 370. essentially to try and divert the attention and perhaps to hoodwink the FATF. Because remember, Pakistan, in fact, was on the grey list of the FATF. And to evade that, we are given to understand that the TRF was essentially floated. General K.K. Sidha is joining us on this broadcast. General K.K. Sidha, first big comment coming in as far as the TRF is concerned. Several of security officials have largely spoken about how this was designed by the Pakistanis, particularly General Asif Munir. The fact that this was being done to hoodwink the international organizations, it is now clear that the United States of America has essentially punished Pakistan with regards to harboring these terrorists on their soil.
Good afternoon and Jai Hind, Shravan. I think today, actually it has happened on 17th of July. It is a great victory. Great victory when I say, diplomatic victory of India, especially when the TRF, and as we brought it out, it happened after, 2019. After the abrogation of Article 370. The TRF as a proxy, and it was done by the Chinese, behest of the Chinese, and Pakistani did it, and they said the Resistance Front is an indigenous, organization which is actually, they are not happy with India, they don't want to be in India, that's why they are waging the war against the Indian Union. Now, with the fights, it is now 2025, July, and especially after the Pahalgam, 3 months has lapsed. It's a great victory that, TRF, the State Department, what they're saying, that foreign terrorist organization and also SDGT, Special Designated Global Terrorist. This is two things, is a huge win, because this narrative which China, Pakistan, even America was holding it for some time, but the pressure, the way we have done it diplomatically, especially when this foreign minister was there during the Quad summit. And that is the time, the way he spoke from that front and that forum about terrorism, about what happened in Operation Sindoor, absolutely in clear terms, and also the Pahalgam attack and how the Pakistan were involved. And these have happened after that. Prime Minister Modi was there in the February 2025 in the United States of America. That time, Tahabbur Rana, he also, who was extradited to India, because that time Prime Minister Modi has put across to Trump that, you can't differentiate between, these terrorist organizations and you will say bad terrorists and good terrorists. But TRF was supposed to be, showcased by Pakistan, China on based of that. And people were taking it because from that time onwards, 2020, we were fighting in the UN to make it as a foreign designated terrorist. And it is the linkages with Lashkar-e-Toiba. What happened on 26 April 2025? That Suleiman, whose name, who is Pakistani SSF commando who was infiltrated inside India in 2022, and they're carrying out all this ghastly attack. And along with the two Pakistani nationals, it has come out very clear. This has been told to America, and dossiers were sent, proof was sent, that it was a special operation like 11, what the Pakistani did it, where the Pakistan army and their political master were totally involved in it. They cleared these operations in Pahalgam and that massacre. So I think it's a great victory, Shravan.
Thank you very much, General K.K. Sidha, for putting this into perspective. There's absolutely no doubt about the fact that there was a lot of back channeling that was essentially done to basically convince the United States of America that strong action should be taken. In fact, Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar had acknowledged support for the TRF, a proxy group, while trying to get its name removed from a UNSC statement. Here's that big admission that was made by the Pakistanis themselves. All this while, they said that if at all India has any proof, why is it that they don't provide it? We have provided the evidence, and that's the reason why TRF has now been designated as a foreign terrorist organization.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में एक फोरम बना जिसका नाम है द रेजिस्टेंस फोरम, और उस पे उसको कंडेम किया गया, उसको जिम्मेदार ठहराया गया उस प्रेस रिलीज में। तो मुझे आई, मैंने देखा, मैंने कहा ये एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं। पहलगाम के साथ आपको लिखना पड़ेगा जम्मू एंड कश्मीर। मुझे बड़े बड़े कैपिटल से कॉलें आई कि देखें इस वक्त मैं जी नथिंग डूइंग, ये नहीं हो सकता, पाकिस्तान विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट। वो कहते हैं आप पे ब्लेम आएगा, प्रेस रिलीज नहीं हुई, इतना बड़ा वाकया हुआ, आपके जावर एक्सप्रेस भी फ्री ये आई थी, कंडेमनेशन की, टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी को कंडेम किया गया था। मैंने कहा वी आर रेडी, बट प्लीज यू हैव टू पुट इन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर एंड हैव टू डिलीट दिस TRF.
Lieutenant Vinay Narwal was one of the victims in the Pahalgam terror attack. We have spoken to the family of Lieutenant Vinay Narwal. Just a reminder of how Pakistan has perpetrated this entire crime. And they perhaps thought that they would go scot-free. The dossier that has been provided by India to the United States of America particularly goes into detailing of Pakistan's involvement in the terror attack that took place in Pahalgam and also the attacks that were carried out by the TRF on the Indian security agencies. This is what the family of Lieutenant Vinay Narwal had to say.
राजेश जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए। आज यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ने एक बहुत बड़ा कदम उठाया है। TRF, वही टेरर आउटफिट जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल था पहलगाम टेरर अटैक के लिए, उसको एक टेरर आउटफिट डेजिग्नेट कर दिया है। इट्स अ ह्यूज डिप्लोमेटिक विन फॉर इंडिया। सर, आपका क्या कहना है इस बारे में?
नमस्कार जी, मेरा इस बारे में यही कहना है कि हमारे देश के कूटनीतिज्ञों ने और राजनेताओं ने तरह से इस मुद्दे को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर उठाया और उसको संज्ञान में लेते हुए आज से यूएस गवर्नमेंट ने द रेसिस्टेंट फ्रंट को, जो कि लश्कर तैयबा से कनेक्टेड है, और उन्होंने 22 अप्रैल की जो घटना थी पहलगाम की, उसमें जो मैसेकर किया, जिसमें कि 26 भारतीय को अपनी जान गंवानी पड़ी, इसमें मेरा बेटा लेफ्टिनेंट विनय नरवाल भी उसमें शहादत को प्राप्त हुआ, तो उसके खिलाफ एक कड़ा कदम और उसके प्रति प्रतिबद्धता जो यूएस गवर्नमेंट ने दिखाई है, ये काबिले तारीफ है और एक अच्छा कदम है। इससे इस तरह के संगठनों पर, इस तरह की कार्रवाई पर अंकुश लगाने का ये कार्य है।
अब आपकी क्या मांग है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से? बिकॉज जहाँ तक हम जानते हैं जो इंडिया यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के टाइज थे वो और स्ट्रेंथन हो गए हैं इस कदम के बाद। अब आपकी क्या मांग है? क्योंकि हमने बस कुछ ही देर पहले शुभम द्विवेदी जी से भी बात किया था, उन्होंने भी अपने भाई को खोया था पहलगाम के अटैक पे। उन्होंने कहा था कि अब जो विक्टिम्स है पहलगाम के, उनको एक शहीद का दर्जा देना चाहिए। आपकी क्या मांग है?
मेरा सरकार से मांग तो नहीं है, मेरी तो एक अपील है, और सरकार इस मामले में बहुत ही सेंसिटाइज्ड है और एक जिम्मेदार सरकार है मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में, और वो इसको बहुत ही गंभीरता के साथ इस इशू को लिया है। और जहाँ तक शहादत की बात है, तो जितने भी लोग वहाँ आतंकवाद की भेंट चढ़े हैं, तो सभी जान गंवाने वाले जो लोग हैं, व्यक्ति हैं, और उनके परिवारों की यही मांग है, अपील भी है गवर्नमेंट से कि उनको शहादत का दर्जा दिया जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये आम कोई ऐसी घटना नहीं है, ये आतंकवाद की भेंट चढ़े है। आतंकवाद की घटना हुई, उन्होंने ऐसा कायराना काम किया, तब उनकी ये मतलब इस दुनिया से वो